Welcome to the month of December 2024, the end of the year, and this is your big picture overview video. And I'm also including a segment for each of your signs, and I'll focus on the highlights based on what I think your sign needs to know. However, please remember that I have 12 individual 30-minute videos that have already been dropped on YouTube where you have a deep dive into every little detail of the month ahead for your sign. So this is going to be a lighter touch. And if you're new to my channel and you're here for the first time, I'm welcoming you. My name is Lori Lothy, and I am using the Western Tropical Zodiac and the whole sign house system. If you're one of my regulars coming back to say hello, I'm so glad you're here again. And if you're somebody who has yet to hit that subscribe button, even though you watch my content, it really helps my algorithm. So if you don't mind subscribing, I would truly appreciate it. And hitting that like button helps as well. So let's talk about the big picture. And my name is Lori Lothy. Did I say that? Western Tropical Zodiac. Let's get the big story in. I'm going to be showing you something. I want you to screenshot it. It's a little cheat sheet I made for you so you can keep track. You can print it out. You can put it on your computer so you can keep track of what's happening in the sky for you in the month of December. And I want to give you my thoughts about December 1st, all right, before I show you the screenshotable, and you can keep that on your phone or your device. You know, December is full of retrogrades and mutability. And those two things are important. We have a lot of planets in retrograde this month. We have a Mercury retrograde coming into the month through till mid-December. We have Mars heading retrograde on December 6th and not going direct until February. We have Jupiter already retrograde since early October and still in retrogradation. Neptune will turn around direct as well in December on the 7th. So we start the whole month with 4 big retrograde energies in the world, in our lives, in the sky. Now, retrograde is clearly not forward motion, right? It's backward motion. And so there's a time as we enter into December where there's a feeling that each of our lives we're reassessing and moving back over old territory. And so because we're backpedaling, we're not moving forward. We're revising, redoing, revisioning, and reassessing matters, all right, that have been ongoing for Mercury since November 2nd, where we're redoing things November 2nd to November 26th, and now we're reassessing it. And as for Jupiter, we're reassessing stuff that we began to appreciate or entertain in our lives since July, and now we're going back to reassess it through to February 4th when he heads direct. The point is that the month is really a sticky month. It's a little bit like having your feet in the mud and trying to run. You can walk and you can walk slowly, but you're not running. You're not going to win a race to get somewhere when a lot of energy is sticky or muddy or retrograding. So that's the first thing I want you to understand. We also have a lot of mutability in this month ahead. It means changeability, flexibility. We have big energies coming up in Pisces where Saturn is, and Jupiter retrograding in Gemini, and Mercury retrograding then direct in Sagittarius. These are mutable signs, and even with Neptune going direct in mutable Pisces, mutability means changeability. It means things are going to be flexible, adaptable, shifting quickly, changing in ways we may not have anticipated, or we are more adaptable, flexible, and shifting and changing in ways that we might not have imagined. When I think of mutability, I was born in the 60s. I think of an old Gumby and Pokey toy. And Gumby and Pokey were these really bendy toys that were, I guess they had some kind of flexible wire with some kind of probably toxic plastic covering, and you could move them any which direction you wanted. And that's kind of what mutability is like. It's extremely flexible and changeable and adaptable. So we're in that energy field of that, yet at the same time, we're not quite moving forward. So in your own life, I'll be delineating how this flexibility with the sort of wait and see until things get direct is playing out. Really, with Jupiter moving direct in February, hallelujah, and Mars moving direct in February, hallelujah, that's when things in our lives really begin to go forward. You're like, yay, all systems go. All right, so just keep that story in mind. One other thing I want to mention is we have a kind of a T-square forming in the sky that we already experienced back. It's a square and a T-square. It's an opposition. It's an opposition and a square. So let's go back to the square and opposition story. So if you go back to August of 2024, and this was when we had around the 19th of August, we had a Saturn square Jupiter. Let's keep it simple. That story, which kind of ran through the whole current of the month of August, was a time in which we had a lot going on. There was the Democratic National Convention, and there was the new beginning of the Harris-Walz team and all of that in the election cycle. But in the economy, in Japan, the stocks dumped, and the United States had bad economic news for unemployment and payrolls, and economic growth was very weak, and it caused concerns in the collective that the Fed had not caught up quickly enough in reducing interest rates, and the U.S. stock markets tumbled as well, although they did by the end of August regain their momentum. What I would say is that we're having that same energy of uncertainty economically and in the markets and the economic news in the month of December. In December, in the last week of December, like the 20th to the end of the month, with an exactitude around the 24th, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are in that square again. And the square where they're sitting in the signs that they're in are mutable. So Jupiter is in mutable, changeable air sign of Gemini. And of course, we know that Gemini tends to be like Jekyll Hyde anyway. I'm on, I'm off, I'm up and I'm down, I'm mortal and I'm immortal. So we have already like that vibration of the two-faced quality, the double body energy of that energy. And then Jupiter expands that. I think of Jupiter in Gemini as biting off more than we can chew, because Jupiter is like bigger, more, better. And, and then what happens with, a mutable sign, but a Gemini placement where Jupiter is in detriment, it doesn't feel so good. There is a saving grace this month, and that's going to be the Mercury opposition in mutual reception. We'll get to that. But it could be when we get to December, we're going to go back into some kind of economic story, because you see, Jupiter and Saturn are big world events. Yes, we have personal intimations in our chart, but they are things that affect the collective. And so it is not a great time then maybe for the markets yet again at the end of this month, but Saturn is direct. And that's a different energy. Jupiter was direct in the summer and Saturn was retrograde. Now it's the flip. Right, that's a flip energy. Saturn, who brings stability, is moving forward, but Jupiter, who wants to expand, is retrograde. And it could be a market conversion, like the opposite. Things could go in a very stable and positive way with end of the year economic news. There's something called a Santa Claus rally every year in the markets go boom and they increase dramatic volume as people sell stocks for end of year capital gains, etc. And generally there's something called the Santa Claus rally. I don't know the details. I'm not an economic expert for the markets, but we may see an uptick, maybe some kind of overly enthusiastic uptick, irrational market exuberance, but I'm not giving you investing advice. But I expect the market stories and the stock markets and the economy to be big in the news cycle the last 10 days or so of the month of December. Now, travel could be a problem this month. Unfortunately, it is Christmas season. We have a Sagittarius Mercury retrograde. Sagittarius is a sign of fly the friendly skies, international travel, getting on an airplane. And that's complicated this month. So be careful. Mercury will continually be opposite Jupiter, the god of fly the friendly skies, even with the mutual reception. I'm not too fond of what could be travel turbulence around December the 4th and again December 26th. And in both those cases, give it a few days on either side. On December 26th, Mercury is now direct, which is good. That means at least he's going direct, but he is opposite Jupiter in detriment, and they're in each other's signs. So it can be a short-lived turbulence, but things such as cyber attacks or satellites down from solar flares or any kind of way that you could disrupt travel. This looks like it could be a travel disruption time. That's one thing to worry about. If you are already thinking you want to travel like on the December holiday, have a backup plan, maybe, you know what I mean? Just in case your flight doesn't take off, have other arrangements, try your best. Now, Mercury retrograde in the holiday season, you're going to be buying Christmas gifts for your friends and family. Be careful. Mercury is retrograding until December 15th. He started on November 26th. Good advice is if you can wait to buy your Christmas gifts till after December 15th, you won't be having to return things. Or if you're stuff for yourself, you won't, unfortunately, Black Monday and Black Friday and Cyber Monday fall in this retrograde. So be careful here. This retrograde happened here last year as well in the same time frame, roughly last season. And then that's connected to Mercury's larger elemental fire year that he did also in the fall of 2017. So there's similarities to 2017 if you want to track it fall. And, maybe not buying stuff all without without checking the due diligence of the fine print on the contract. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like you can buy this and you can return it in 30 days, you think, because that's what that store always did, except for the day you bought the thing and there's a new refund policy that no one told you about. That's the kind of energy we got until December 15th. So practically speaking, be more careful. Now, we have a Neptune direct on December 7th, and that's pretty decent energy because he's been retrograding for several months. And in his retrogradation, he says, I pull back the tide and you can see what's under the surface. And it was good for disclosures. And when he was retrograde, some of the disclosures were the panel of the AI experts, the aliens, the UFOs, the AIPs up at Congress, pulling back what was hidden, seeing what's underneath the froth of all the alien AI, not the AI, the alien UFO bodies, retrofitting spaceship stuff. That was all over Congress, just as Mercury was stationed last week to turn direct. And the last intensity of the direct station motion is it's bringing the best out of what was hidden from our view. When people talk about disclosures and whistleblowers, I see them always happening during the retrogradation of Neptune, not during the direct motion. In the direct motion, he's like, let me give you a rose-colored glasses fantasy story. Let me make it all seem so too good to be true. Let me also manipulate you. Let me delude you. Let me get, like, I got some Kool-Aid. Do you want to drink it? So he's going direct after having been rolling back the tide and showing us what was not known or hidden. Pluto, of course, as we start the month, Pluto is in Aquarius. And when Pluto went into Aquarius in 2023, from about March to June, and then again September of 2024, till September 1st, we had a lot of the AI stuff tumbling through these AI, yes, artificial intelligence, but also the aliens and artificial intelligence. I'm going to be having Adam Ellenbus on my channel in mid-December, and we're going to be talking about aliens, AI, and Pluto together. I can't wait to have him on. We'll be covering your sign as well. But it is literally predictable. So Pluto's still sitting at the 0 Aquarius mark. The big deal, it is a big deal, is Venus. I'm going to show you the chart for you to screenshot this in a minute. Hang in there. Venus will come in, sit down on top of Pluto on the 5th, 6th of the month. And as she does that, she flows to the nodes of fate, which makes this extremely special. And she's also sitting with an asteroid named Ceres. And it's not my specialty, but there's something about either grains or harvest or reaping rewards or something to do with the archetype of the Ceres, the goddess of the grains and the harvest there. But she could just mean the sickle that reaps and harvests something. And the three of them are sitting together basically at 0 degrees. What is different than last time this happened, which is February 17th last year, when Pluto and Venus joined in Aquarius in 2024, the beginning of this year, is the flow to the north and south node in the Libra sextile, trine the Libra south node and flowing to the north node. Now, I'm going to cover this in great depth in my weekly video for the week this is happening, but I want you to know that makes it extremely rare. It's like I should have, on my weekly video, I'll tell you how last time we saw the nodes of fate trining Venus conjunct Pluto. Okay, it's not like yesterday. It's the best we could have. I don't know. It's like, you got to go 250 years ago, right? 250 years ago, at least. So there we have that. So we have a nice rare aspect blessing us. This is a wealth yoga, just like Jupiter-Pluto conjunctions or trines tend to bring wealth to the natives, and all the rich and famous have these kinds of Jupiter-Plutos. Also, I've seen it in Jupiter-Venus. I think Warren Buffett has the Jupiter-Venus energy, Pluto-Venus energy. And so if you wanted the best of this energy in the first week of December, and it really starts the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. You want to know that this is like the riches that you can get. What are the riches? They could be emotional wealth. They could be tangible physical wealth. It depends on your sign. I will cover this a little bit in the all signs today. But you also know that Pluto is about what's hidden and excavating something under the surface. And anytime you get a Venus-Pluto in its detriment, like where that's showing you the hard aspect, you're going to have jealousy. You're going to have betrayals. You're going to have obsessions of some sort around love and or money. You could be obsessed with money or your partner. It's very Glenn Close and Fatal Attraction. So be cautious with that energy, but it does flow to the nodes of fate. And so it enhances the story of the Aries Libra part of your chart from the Aquarius juncture. And that's called a wedge formation. And in some way, it has something really good to offer you and me and the world. Aquarius belongs to China. They're an Aquarius rising with the moon on the ascendant in the early degrees of Aquarius. This is going to activate something very big for China. Do I know what the China activation is? A Venus-Pluto Ceres conjunct, with Ceres meaning agriculture. Maybe it has something to do with a very intense moment in time coming up around the first week of December, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, around China and economics, China and wealth, China and riches, flowing to the nodes of fate for the ascendant of China. So it will engage a flow to China's whole sign third house, which is things to do with media, news announcements by the government, travel. It will also flow to the ninth house of legal matters, justice, courts, and other countries that China may engage with, foreign countries and foreign nations. It may be more BRICS stories. It may be that the BRICS alliance story with China and Russia and more is coming into the news cycle yet again with some more information. They're trying to create sort of their own trading currencies, perhaps. And this is some big news story about China regarding that, because Pluto, Venus for China every single year is going to be a wealth yoga for China over the next 20 years. And also you and me, Aquarius rising folk. And the last thing I want to mention here is because we're going to do your sign, there's an opposition between Mars and Venus this month and a Mercury Cazimi. Well, the Mercury Cazimi is a divine download in Mercury on the Sagittarius, 14 degrees is on the identity of the United States of America. Natal Sibley chart is 12. Mercury in the heart of the sun brings some kind of revelation, usually something in a news cycle, in this case about the identity of America. Look for that Cazimi in your own life, in the Sagittarius part of your sky, 14 Sag in particular, in your whole sign house system. It's a really good day for a divine download or insight. And that's really a very pure and powerful energy, as Mercury is aligned with the divine mind of the universe, the soul of what makes this whole thing tick. The day of the Cazimi is approximately Cazimi day. Where are you? Oh, I thought I wrote it down. It's early in the month. The Mercury Cazimi is so early in the month, like the 5th, 6th of December. And I'm going to have it 5th. It's the 5th. I'm going to have it in this chart I'm about to show you. And also, we have a Venus trine Uranus. Is a wealthy thing because Uranus is on the wealth star Algol, and Venus is saying, I love this energy. Let's flow together. So she's going through Cap with her Boss Babe shoulder pad. She's very serious, and she loves her fine Chanel perfume, and she likes her Hermes silk scarf. And she really, in Capricorn, is going slow and steady in love and money. She knows how to play the long game, and she's moving through the sign of Capricorn on December 2nd and trining Uranus on the Algol energy. And that's not something that's a one-off. It's connected to a deeper energy that started in each of our lives May the 18th, when she co-joined with Uranus in Taurus on May the 18th. And this is like the last. She's throwing, like the bouquet, like the bride throws the bouquet. She's throwing the bouquet so that you get the last goodie bag out of what this intense and rare connection is, because Uranus is only on Algol once every 84 years. And back on May 18th of 2024, Venus joined Uranus on Algol. And here we have it, the last bouquet. She's tossing it out as she does a trine to finish up this story before she conjuncts Uranus again in the spring. Still pretty close to Algol at that time. So it's happy money and happy love. Happy money, happy resources, happy love stories, surprise, unexpected developments. It's a little perk. The universe tosses you a bone of goodness around December 2nd, and each sign gets a different flavor of it. That's why if you subscribe and like, when I do my weekly astrology, I dive in very deeply with the stars and the asteroids as well. The other thing I want you to know is that she later on loves up Jupiter in a double your luck, double your money as well. So we'll get to that when I show you the picture of the sky. And Mars and Venus have a very hot and heavy love affair when they're in opposition. It's like a square, opposition, or conjunction in your natal chart between Mars and Venus, among many things, because it can show squares, especially betrayals and tending to get into infidelity environments. But when we see the cosmic lovers in friction, tension, it is like, wow. If you want to have a sexy time with that, you can really take it and say, I'm going to like date night from heaven. We're going to go out and do something. We might fight, but then, that you can turn the energy of anger or oppositional energy into sexual frisson. And that's really kind of a time to possibly choose to use, you know what I mean? So that opposition is something that we need to pay attention to as well. And it's in the middle of the month. It's around, Mm. I don't have it written here. We're going to go ahead and show you the chart. And then we're going to look at the sky, not with the moons of the month, guys. I always put the moons out. So there's no point in me doing that again, right? But we do have a 23 degrees Gemini full moon in this month ahead on December 15th. We also have at the end of the month on the 30th, a 9-degree Capricorn lunation. I'm pulling up my gift to you guys. Lori made this herself. She doesn't have a staff, guys. Not really. I'm a one-woman show. So this is something I made on my Canva for you guys. And like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I forgot to share that my 2025 individual videos, 2 hours each, with a PDF guidebook, a download for each sign separate, a downloadable audio video format, as well as a hidden link replay on my YouTube and private link, are available. And those are on my website right now. So go check them out. Or under my description box here. And you can also get the bundle, all signs, for a fraction of the cost of what Astrolata is selling hers for. Mine are very affordable. So go grab those. And I started a new Substack called the Pluto Chronicles, because I'm Aquarius rising. And if you want to go over there will be a new podcast audio format coming up in January. But come on, it's free to subscribe. There's perks if you want to pay more, but it's my new writing column about what Pluto's doing in Aquarius. And that's in my description box as well. So let's go ahead, and I'll pin it to the comments if I remember. Let me grab the screenshot of the image, the download of the image I made for you. Here it is. Lori has found it. Hopefully it shows when I go to share it with you. I swear, I don't think it will. So let me fix that right now. Alrighty, let's get that up for you guys. I had to go back and retrieve it from somewhere in the back end of my computer. All right, so go ahead and take a screenshot. I'll make it larger. It's handy to have a little roadmap. I don't know if I covered every little detail. I mean, these are the highlights. These are the things I use to pay attention to in my 2025 individual videos for you guys. These are the things that I chose to focus on. I did include the moons in my individual sign 30-minute videos. So we talked about already in the intro how Venus was trining Uranus, and how that is like the bride tosses a bouquet of things that Venus started to try to do on a well star for you on May the 18th of 2024. So she's tossing some positive, vibrationally positive energy at you. It's like, what is she going to give us in a flowing way? Mercury Cazimi is on December 4th at 14 Sag. Take the day. I think it's around 5 p.m. Standard Eastern Time. So I keep that in mind. So you might want to actually harness the direct Cazimi. The closer you get, the more magical it is. So there is that opportunity as well. For divine downloads and insights in the Sagittarius fire sign, whole sign house in your natal chart. On December 5th, of course, Mercury retrogrades is in retrogradation since November 26th, but then he opposes Jupiter, also retrograding in Gemini. You might notice that I also did the same thing. December 26th, Mercury now direct opposite Jupiter in Gemini. These are where I worry about some travel snafus or airplanes or satellites down or problems with travel issues, especially the retrograde. But either one can do that. So these are similar energies, December 5th and 26th, 7th. But now with Mercury direct, things that can snafu are less snafu-y. Let's call it that. Jupiter's biting off more than he can shoot in Gemini. He always does that. He's like, I can take it on, man. Who needs details, right? It's like the IKEA furniture guy. I'm going to build this thing. He goes to IKEA furniture and he grabs this like massively difficult wardrobe construction. That's Jupiter. I can do this myself. And I don't even need the dumb instructions that don't work anyway, and tosses them out. So we're in our lives, December the 4th and also December 21st, are we tending to maybe be overly optimistic and to bite off more than we can chew in some area of our life, and then realize we didn't pay attention to the details? And the saving grace is there's a reception between the two planets. Jupiter is in Mercury's house. Mercury is in Jupiter's house, the Gemini-Sag corridor of mutability. And therefore, they are working as a team the best they can and trying to make the best of difficult circumstances. So when I talk about travel snafus, it's not the end of the world, right? It's just not. It's going to be not as bad as it could be, I hope. The other thing I'm saying is December 6th, Mars will retrograde in Leo, and I talk about that. I'm going to be doing another video. I did a big, long 2-hour video on the Mars in Cancer Leo combination, and last seen in 1977, 1978. So this is back to the 1977-78 timeframe. I'll be doing a whole separate Mars video coming out on Thursday with deep dives and your sign, because Mars retrograding in Leo through to about February 23rd or so. It's not just Leo. It's on January 6th, he slices out of Leo and moves into Cancer. So really what you're talking about for December 6th to January 6th is Mars retrograding over the time period that connects more directly to his entrance into Leo November the 3rd, 4th. So things that happen November 3rd, 4th in your life, all of a sudden you think you're going forward in the Leo sky. Now you're going to turn around and go backwards and reassess that through to January the 6th. So Leo, for me, for example, as an Aries sun, I would look at my 5th house and go, I'm retrograding on a creative project. I'm retrograding back and rethinking an entrepreneurial strategy or something to do with my romantic life, that kind of thing, right? Aquarius rising, Leo is my 7th house. That's why knowing your chart helps. So I'll be retrograding backwards on a long-term committed business or love partnership, rethinking it, but only rethinking things that were instigated really from November 4th. So that's an example. Venus into Aquarius with Pluto, 0 degrees. We know that's happening on around the 5th, 6th of the month. And it's really the 6th, I believe. On December 7th, Neptune will be direct. Now we can be confused again for several months. Mercury retrograde square Saturn. Mercury retrograde square Saturn, is also happening December 26th and 7th. You can see that I covered it up here. That's why I need a graphic artist to do this. So it's taking you back to December 26th, 7th. There's a lot going on. The December 26th and 7th are going to remind you a lot of what the hell is going on in this. Everything has to be done again because everybody's retrograde energy of December 7th. December 7th. This is really basically an energy that's pulling us into a larger pattern called a T-square, because as Mercury is squaring Saturn, he's also opposite Jupiter. So we have a triangle in the sky, a loosey-goosey, but it's there. So there's kind of, Saturn says we need to be rigid, contained, reasonable, structured. He's in Pisces. Pisces is water. Pisces is things to do with shorelines. Pisces is things to do with beliefs and higher faith. Pisces is to do with migration, refugees, borders around land and sea. And so I would guess maybe for the collective, things that are going on around that December, the 6th, 7th, 8th will be more conflict or difficulty regarding migration, borders, refugees, storylines, or hardship with water of some way. And Mercury brings the news from Sag, which is the United States of America's ascendant. This T-square keeps bothering the United States in itself and other house. So they're open enemies, or what they consider to be their opponents, and the United States opponents versus the United States are big in the story, squaring Pisces, the 4th house of home and homeland in the United States chart. So this would be more also maybe division, civil division energies within the United States itself that are playing out and trying to organize and straighten out in some fundamental way with compromise, perhaps with that mutual reception. So if it's in the political sphere or the civil political sphere of the United States, we're going to see some desire by the sky to try to bring resolution to great tension of opposites here. Gemini is a sign of the twins or the brothers. The United States has it in the descendant, and that's why the United States has indeed had civil war in the past. So even though the United States is not in a civil war, it's in a civil war of ideologies, the left versus the right. So it's had its Pluto return, which has led to the rise and fall of nations every time. Rome twice, French Revolution. The United States was founded on the time that Pluto's doing what it has been doing again. The United States is trying to redefine itself somehow in a very fundamental way. So look to this energy very strongly then in your own life, the world at large. If we're going to do the world at large, I'd say December the 7th and again December 26th are two stories in one part. Immigration laws, civil strife around ideologies and land and property and homeland. And I don't know why I keep thinking, and things keep going the way they're going in the United States, the states are going to begin to cede from the nation and create mini empires. And that's what Pluto and Aquarius does historically anyway. It creates new boundary lands of we the people and economic alliances like the BRICS nations. And so we'll see. But this is a story that's just kind of gnarly for the United States right now, December 5th and December the 26th. Vaguely, I think I remember that there's something that goes on around the 17th of December in elections for the United States where it's like a kind of ratification of the final count. If I have that correct in the comments, let me know. And you'll see Mercury goes direct on the 15th, which is a good sign that ratification thing should go well, and especially with Jupiter trining Venus. Now that's the luck upon luck energy. I love it for all of us. I love it. It's really like going to the casino and hitting the jackpot. Venus is in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Gemini, and he's retrograde. There may be an intimation that whatever the luck is, it's from your past. There are things that are coming to you that are fruitful or bounteous or lucky in the Gemini part of your whole sign natal chart sky, that come from things that may have been going on in your life after July the 15th. And now there's a surge or this sweet spot of delectability. If someone's giving you the whole box of chocolates and not just one, right? And you're like, yay, the bonbons are all for me. And the bonbon goodies, right, are the Aquarius Gemini parts of your sky. And I think I'm going to focus on that one for fun for all signs because it's such a positive energy that it doesn't hurt to focus these days on something good. And that is good upon good. So we'll cover that as well for each sign, no doubt about it. Jupiter was still retrograde square Saturn. Yes, that is a part of that T-square energy that we were seeing earlier in the month. So we see Jupiter retrograde square Saturn just like last August as well. DNC convention, politics were heating up. There's supposed to be a lot of joy that didn't show up. And you also have the energy of the economic indicators either swooning dramatically one way or the other. Saturn wants it to be realistic, and he is going direct, and he wants to bring realistic results to the attention of the world around markets and economies. Jupiter retrograde, however, is pulling back to matters he was paying attention to after July 15th. So there is a sense that we could go back to reinvestigate economic matters, or it could be the Santa Claus rally, December 21st to the 29th. I'm going to get an astrological forecast with Trudy, who does financial astrology on my channel for 2025. And I think that will really help us get a handle on this. And we'll put that up before the last 10 days of the month. So we get a handle on this market trends here. And then over here, Mercury is direct, finally opposite Jupiter. He's moving direct. He's opposite Jupiter. This is December 26th. I square Saturn. We covered that repeat of December up here, December 5th, part 1, part 2. And lastly, Venus will go into a square to Uranus. Now, every time we have a square, it's difficult or more difficult. Actions, decisions, you have to make a choice. It's gritty. It's forcing your hand. There's something that requires a decision and action because squares are Mars by nature. Mars is the god of our deciding, our willpower, our actions, our drive, our ambition, maybe. December 27th, Venus is in a square to Uranus, still on the Algol wealth star. Well, it's what it looks like. It's like, what is there going to be happening here that Venus has love and money? And she's no longer playing, nice tennis game because she's no longer in the sign of Capricorn. She's in like Aquarius, where Pluto's got her back. So it can bring some wealth. It can also bring some unexpected developments that you didn't see coming regarding financial matters as well that you have to contend with at the last of December. So by now, I'm sure we all got a screenshot of this baby and we're ready to roll into your sign. When I'm talking about your sign, I'm talking about your sun, moon, or rising. Sun is your career and purpose. Moon is your home and body and maybe how you feel about life. And the rising sign is the avatar. It's the gameplay or character. Leo risings have beards and manes. Lots of times Cancer risings have big round moon faces. Lots of times Aquarian or Capricorns are lean in the face, long and lean, because it's a Saturn ruled sign. We take on a deportment because we come into this life, which I'm going to call simulation. And what we do is we come on in and we take on a form and we inhabit this meat suit or the space suit of our body or whatever you want to call it. So that's my take on this story of how to listen for all three. Just give them a try, see what really resonates with you. I'm always listening for my own sun and moon. That's my go-to when I'm doing my own listening for my own self. Anything else I want to tell you that I might have forgotten? Um, There's the last thing before we go into all signs. This is general bell curve astrology. Of course, it's not going to be as personal and as accurate as a reading with a real astrologer in per person. So keep that in mind. We're doing our best to make general forecasts for one whole sign. And the last thing I want to finish with is there is a part of Jupiter that always says faith, hope, optimism. Let's go with something positive. And then all the energy in Sag is about what we believe, right? And it can be spiritual belief, religious belief. It could be cultural belief, patriotic belief. It's whatever the belief structures you have are. And Saturn and Mercury are in that reception. And it's about moderating something. Instead of being bombastically over the top, anti or pro, it could actually lead to some kind of energy in December of settling into a compromising or halfway measure or something that settles a little bit, even though there's oppositions and squares. Saturn says let's stabilize something. And I'm going to venture, but I could be wrong. There's a lot of chatter on a lot of astrology that are wherein the astrologers are strongly democratic, and they're like, they've been slain. I'm not Democratic or Republican. I'm Canadian. I'm not preferential, believe it or not. And then they're coming up with like almost conspiratorial turnarounds. The truth will be found. I know Starlink and Elon Musk stole the election, or there's just something going to happen where the outcome that we think is happening isn't going to happen. I'm just not even going to comment on that anymore. Really, I'm just kind of done with it all. But I want to say that with the Jupiter energy activated with a Mercury ×2, right? Mercury is going to activate with Jupiter December 5th and again December 26th. And Saturn squaring to bring stability in the home and homeland, Pisces, of America. It is quite possible that we'll see something like I don't know, the turnaround isn't the right word, but more of a positive outcome than a debilitating and chaotic one. And Mars is retrograding in Vance and Trump's first house, and will leave their first house on January the 6th and move into their 12th house. And Mars direct in their first house was a very good signal for success in the election, right? It should have been something I paid attention to. Then there may be some kind of deflation in the excitement of the broligarchy. Some people are calling the broligarchy or the Avengers thing. When this Mars moves off of Vance and Trump's ascendant in January through to mid-April and goes into their 12th house. But 12th house is backroom deals and negotiations, and who knows what that will look like. And finally, the Pew's Research Institute, around the time of my recording, November 28th, a couple of days ago maybe, came out with a study, a very in-depth, very rigorous poll of the public, and found the fact is, unfortunately for the Democrats who are very unhappy with life as it has unfolded, life unfolds, right? We're not in charge. Some force larger than we are in charge of our reality. And that's the truth, guys. You might not, like who won or dislike who won, or whatever's going on in your world. There's a divine plan. I don't want to sound like a cliche, but I believe we have a greater force at work, that even destruction can be creative and even creation can be destructive. And even things that seem to go wrong. Does not anybody ever remind themselves of the old parable, the old Zen parable where the son's leg is cut off in an accident on the farm and he can't help the dad, and everybody's like, oh my God, we're so sorry, this is really going to screw you up, he's your laborer, he's your family. And the Zen like monk father is like, well, who knows, basically, is it good or is it bad? And it turns out then there's a war and the son is not conscripted, and then there's a whole series of circumstances of calamity that unfolds. But every time the dad's like, is it good or is it bad? And it turns out there's always a silver lining, that the thing that seemed like a bad thing is a good thing. And that's all I want to say about that, guys. You have to look at it like, you don't know what's good and bad. I don't know. We don't know. We're not the divine screenwriter here. Somebody else is. This is just what I wanted to show you. The Pew's Research Institute came out with this just like end of November. Publicly narrowly approves of Trump's plans. Most are skeptical he will unify the country, but they express warmer feelings towards Trump today than they did after 2020 or 2016. And when I read the article, I found out that it was really about his policies on immigration, migration, borders, economy and foreign policy that people felt warmer towards Trump than they did in 2020 or they did in 2016. So, well, he is vilified and demonized, and he is a disruptor, and he's probably maybe a bit of a self-absorbed narcissist, who knows. And yes, he may not have a great vocabulary. He may sound like he's in grade 8, so your vocabulary does not define you. We don't know why the universe or the divine plan or the scriptwriter of this matrix has put this into play. We just do not know the reason. So why don't we all just take a deep breath? I had someone kind of get angry at me in a live chat this morning because how dare I, it was mind boggling that I said, why don't we take an open mind about this based on the sky? It was based on the Sabian symbol and an asteroid that happened to be on the Sagittarius moon that's happening on November 30th. And I was really just speaking to the astrology and the delineation of the golden-haired goddess of opportunity, Sabian symbol, that talks about not judging and having an open mind about things. And I'm like, so that we don't collapse, what we dwell upon grows. Negativity grows when you feed it. If all you think about is how sick you feel, you end up feeling sicker and getting sicker. If you think about how wrong everything is, it gets wronger. So the point I'm trying to make is I got this comment, like it was mind-boggling that I dared to say what I said because I'm not a woman of color, and how I'm advising women of color to say open-minded about a misogynist in power or something like that, or racist or whatever. You got to take a chill pill, guys. We all do. I don't like Trudeau. I cannot wait for Trudeau to leave, but I don't think Polyev, my country of Canada, is an actual savior. Politics is complicated. All right, so we're moving on to your sign. Let's get rolling. And like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Thanks. We're starting with Aries and Sun, Moon, and Rising. Welcome. I am one of you. I have an Aries Moon, Sun, and Mercury. Yes, I'm feisty. Well, let's start off with the basic thing that is most important for you in the month of December. Mars, the ruler of your sign, is going to retrograde on December the 6th, and that makes this about the most important detail. Mars retrograde for you is a time where the caution flag is up. It's not a month where he's going to be, by the way, retrograding in your 5th house of romantic love to forge a brand new love story and go on a first date. Quite often that means things will reverse course. It is also the house of your children. And Mars retrograding December the 6th through to February means that things in the past regarding your children can return for your attention. Ironically, Mars retrograde here as well, December 6th, can bring lovers from your past, romantic partners back from the woodwork of, the dark, dusty shelf of the past. And, you just can't believe that they're back in your life in some profound and meaningful way. And so keeping in mind that Mars retrograde is the key part of the story, let's talk about 5th house creative and entrepreneurial endeavors. I see Mars retrograde here for the artist, the creative, or the entrepreneur, of going back to retool some project that you have been working on in the past. It could have been a business idea. It could have been that website, the domain. It could have been something to do with what you wanted to create in an artistic project, and you had to, somehow got waylaid or held back. And now December the 6th through until January 6th, well, he's still retrograding through your 5th house. I think it's a 2 thumbs up, all systems go, to revise, redo, and re-engineer some creative project that you have been out of touch with. Mars rules the athleticness, and 5th house is competition and athletic sport. And often I see this retrograde looking like going back to do some kind of athletic endeavor that you have done before. Okay, so it's nothing brand new. You've done it before. It's funny. I was saying to my partner the other day, I'm going to go back and do hot yoga again. I have not done hot yoga in years, since before the pandemic. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that's literally a hot Mars and fiery Leo going backwards. Now, he is the ruler of the head, the Aries head, and in general, your body. So it's not a good time, December the 6th, right, through to January 6th, for, like, say, dental work or surgery or lasers or dermabrasions or anything sharp, hot, cutting to do with the physical body, particularly the head and face. Well, the head, your whole body. So, I need to have a dental cleaning even. They're jabbing away at you. I'll wait till he gets out of my retrograde 5th house, and into my 4th. You're wondering, well, what's the difference? He's still retrograde till February. Yes, he is. But he's squaring the house of the face and the teeth from the 6th house. So if you have to do dental work, wait till maybe he gets out of the retrograde in Leo, but altogether, like, maybe even wait till February. I certainly wouldn't do anything surgical if I could. I'm not your medical advisor. Emergencies are emergencies. But if you're having elective items, it may not be the best time when he's in retrogradation. It usually means you have to go back and fix something because he's the scalpel guy. So keep that in mind too. This is stuff that I didn't cover, by the way, in my big, longer videos for each sign, because I'm just trying to give you what I would think is a highlight and what you really, really need to pay attention to. Now we have new moons, happening, and full moons and all that stuff every time we have, a sky opening up. And one of the things about the energy of the part of the sky for you that offers up a full moon in the middle of the month, the Gemini part of your sky, it really is a learning and travel house. And I just want to put your attention there because Jupiter opposite, Mercury in a mutual reception, and there is a full moon here on December 15th. It can open up a doorway. Mercury's heading direct for you to apply for a university, get a great acceptance letter into a college or campus, to apply for a visa, to take a trip, or to travel, plan the trip, book the trip. Mercury is direct. We have 2 travel houses implicated. And when we have a full moon, it's about fulfilling something that you wanted to already do. It's like a completion energy. What was it that you were thinking of that you want to fulfill? It's good for writing and book publishing. It's good for, so you want to get the book written, you want to get the publishing contract, you want to get that done. Full moon is giving you a nice fulfillment here, and it starts December 15th. And of course, it does run for 2 weeks after, but even longer, 6 months after. And it is flowing to you, right? It is it is a full moon in Gemini in your 3rd house, sextiling you and flowing to you, while Mercury is flowing to you in direct motion from the 9th house. So it's a beautiful wedge moon for you. And it's one of the highlights of December. And over the 6 months that follows, digital visas, travel, passports, long distance journeys, teaching and educational opportunities, book publishing and writing are on your yes, you need to go in that direction. Why not menu? I'm cherry picking the best for you guys. Okay. What I want to know? What do I want to know? Venus moving into the conjunction in Aquarius. Okay. So this is your house of friendships. This is happening around December 6th. Venus is with Pluto in your 11th house of good spirit. More importantly, she flows to the nodes of fate in your 1st house and your 7th house. This is where you've been having all of those eclipses, Aries. I mean, the ones that started in April of 2023, April of 2024 eclipses in Aries, and you've been really feeling like there's a lot of change in your life, you're riding a surfboard wave of change that the destinies and the fates have given you. Fated new relationships with significant others in business and love, South Node in the 7th, expansion of your identity, North Node in the 1st house. But now Pluto, power and riches, and Venus, which riches, wealth, and good fortune come together in the house of good spirit, which brings windfalls, pennies from heaven, good fortune. It brings allies, benefactors, a powerful, rich or female or influential friend may be benefiting you around December the 6th in a way that enhances the changes the eclipses have been making in your life. Look for something very positive around December 6th, give or take a few days, but I'll go December 6th to the 10th, really luscious, and it's really good for career gains. You can increase your financial well-being in a career-related matter connected to audience and marketplace, for example, on around the 6th, 7th of the month. And also of note would be the lucky Venus trine. Everyone should get a little hint of that. Venus is in your money house. She's on the Algol well star. She's in your 2nd house. Uranus is. Venus is loving her up from the 10th house of career. I'm kind of backpedaling in here because I forgot to mention. So around December 2nd, maybe an unexpected windfall, maybe a significant lucky break regarding something on the financial front connected to your work and livelihood and what you're doing in this world to create or make money. And it can be very nice. You have this once a year in this way since 2018. So it's a nice day or two in which you get a nice little perk in your finances connected to your work and career matters. And anything else you should really know about. The luckiest day of the luck upon luck trine between Jupiter, short-lived but worthy of you, 19 and 20th. Venus is going to flow to Jupiter, and she's in Aquarius, your 11th house of good spirit. She tells Jupiter in your 3rd house, Beautiful golden opportunities, 19th and 20th of December, to travel with siblings, to travel with a friend, to have a very big social gathering or event that you attend that brings you great joy and fulfillment. December 20th as well, 19th, 20th, you could have some kind of breakthrough in a writing project, social media endeavor, some kind of positive developments regarding learning environments, teaching environments, and large groups of people, going to a seminar, being accepted at a seminar, participating in some larger learning environment on 19th and 20th, and having something glorious and positive, quite prosperous even, happen, because Venus is still with Pluto, and we have Jupiter saying, let's expand the prosperity in your career gains from some social or social media event that you're maybe up to on the 19th and 20th or so of December. If you go back to the 19th of August, or just the month of August, what were you up to? Because the tension between Jupiter and Saturn in a square is back again. And so look to the 21st to the end of the month of December as a time where you want to not throw caution to the wind. You want to be cautious. You want to be realistic about what you can accomplish regarding a plan to travel to a foreign country, regarding the way you wish to create career gains and financial matters from far off foreign shores and distant places, therefore digital income and borderless income revenue, especially when it comes to social media. You still have Jupiter retrograde in your house of social media, websites, writing, communicating, marketing, and selling. You still have retrograde till February the 4th or so. So be more patient. This is classic last 10 days of December. Jupiter wants to jump into some project. It could involve writing, teaching, communicating, and he wants to go big or go home. And Saturn is like, hey, dude, slow it down, take your time, think about it. What can you actually accomplish in a reasonable manner over time? So therefore, consider caution. Same thing in August. What did you have to pull back on and be more cautious about? And I remember for me, the beginning of August or so, I was looking at some changes I wanted to make to my teaching schedule for my Sky Reader class, and I pushed the class further out than I was originally going to do in terms of a start date, to be realistic about what I could possibly accomplish in that time frame. So it's just a restriction with sensibility for you. And finally, I can't do too much here. I got your whole sign done, but when I talk about a Capricorn moon for you, this new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees in the career house is a new beginning, a reboot, and a fresh start on the 30th of the month of December. And it could literally be a very important reboot because Pluto is no longer hanging out in Capricorn. And so it has a new quality. And the quality this new moon has in Capricorn is to bring you greater gains in your career in general, as that's where Pluto travels now, and connect those gains to far off foreign shores, borderless income, and digital revenue, or creative projects that you apply a ton of energy to in the back, quiet isolation chamber of your downtime. All right. Thanks, Aries, for listening. Those are just some highlights. Maybe I should call this video the highlights video rather than the big picture overview. Go watch your 30-minute long video that I've already done for you. I'll put that in the description box below so you don't miss the link, the playlist to the All Signs Deep Dive videos. Now we're going to move ahead and we're going to talk about, I should just show you the sky. My sister, the time stamper, is going to kill me for not having the sky up because it makes her job harder. I forgot that I was still talking to the screen. So I'll have to give her a heads up on that. Here we go. So when you're just looking at the sky, I cannot rotate the sky, okay? Because between the beginning of December and the end of December, I'm going to continually lose the ascendant. So what we're doing instead is the software doesn't let me pin the ascendant to a sign. Not that I know of. I would have noticed it by now, but I'll double check that in case I'm wrong. Some softwares will let you pin to a sign. No, it doesn't. So I have no choice but to just show you the rough gist of the sky without having me to try to advance the wheel. So that's, people ask me why I don't advance the wheel. It can't advance the wheel. Technological failure here. All right. We'll do Taurus next. And sorry about that. I totally screwed that up for my sister. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is the gist of the sky. Let's take that moon out of there for sure, because the moon is moving way too quickly for us to even think about what the moon is up to. Goodbye, moon. There we are. There's a lot of minor asteroids in here. I may mention them as we get going. So Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. You know, Venus is your number one planet. I hope you do, just like for the people who are also Libra. So Venus has a lot to say for you. And the most exciting part of the month is the beginning of the month, when around the second or so, she comes into a conjunction with the planet Uranus. Now, conjunction, a trine to the planet Uranus. And there is something very lucky and unexpected and surprising when it comes to matters to do with travel plans, visas, and travel to foreign countries, academic environment, successes, things to do with courts and judges ruling on your behalf, things to do with pilgrimages. I don't know. So, courts, legal matters, pilgrimages. This is all that, energy that wants to activate. Did I say that right? What am I doing? My brain is on. Yeah, because Venus will be here. She'll be at the end of your ninth house, and then she's moving on, of course. And this is a big deal because you are Venus ruled. She heads into a conjunction with Pluto around December the 6th, and then for the next few days, it's a very Pluto Venus story. And this is your 10th house of wealth, and wealth and power go together when you have Pluto up there. So wealth, power, success. Profound transformation, perhaps, around a long-term ambition for something you wish to achieve in your life. But at the same time, it just could be a nice little perk for you of more recognition or success in a career ambition or goal. Pluto can unearth something for you that you didn't see in the house of the father, to do with your relationship to a father figure. And you could, unfortunately, on the dark side of this, get entangled in a fatal attraction love relationship in a career setting. If you're not careful, that could be a challenge. Ceres sometimes wants to exit something, like cut, end, and harvest. So some of you might have a thought that you might want to quit or harvest or end something to do with a career ambition. It doesn't have to be you're going to quit the job, but with the South Node here, some of you may let go of a certain career and work path and say, I am done. And it feels totally okay to say that. You're ready to leave it behind. Looks like some of you might leave your work and want to travel the world or go off on it for an adventure. Just many examples here. Or be able to eliminate a debt that you're holding that has been really holding you back, and to be able to pay that debt off. Now, another highlight for you, of course, well, let's just try to pick and cherry pick here, right? The good, the bad, and the ugly. But there is a Mercury Cazimi in the 8th house of chunky money. Now, that Cazimi is something that happens very rarely in this way. Like, we're in an elemental fire year. You had it in 2017, this time of year. You had it last year, this time of year. But it can bring you an unexpected blessing on the Cazimi of some chunky money coming to you. And that's around December the 5th. And so unexpected breakthroughs, news, information, phone calls that reveal to you some money that will be available to you, that you can receive from a tax rebate, assurance payout, maybe a divorce settlement, money that comes from an investment in the markets, and some payout energetically coming. Because a Cazimi is a very beautiful energy, and it brings sort of a divine inspiration and often reveals something in a flash that was unseen before now. So go back and maybe compare to other times that you had this Cazimi activating this way. And, Mercury gets more and more visible as he goes through this month. And you may find that by mid-December, whatever this prosperity thing is that wants to happen for you, you're receiving the actual funds or the actual money. But you may know about it as early as December 6th in some way. The Mars-Venus opposition is really going to pit you. Venus is going to get into a fight with Mars in your 4th house between matters that you're trying to accomplish in your home. That can be construction, that can be hammers and nails, that could be moving your home. And you're going to find that by around the 12th of the month of December, there's a lot of tension in the home environment relative to your work environment. It's a push-pull tug of war. And so you might just find that you have to figure out how to make a compromise here between the power of your Pluto Venus in the house of work, where you might be even getting a raise or promotion or Christmas bonuses, and you're chomping at the bit in a work setting to look like, you're the best things at sliced bread and be liked by your boss. And all of a sudden there's conflict in the home space. And it just literally can make you really feel like which way is the right way. Venus is more strongly placed because she's at the top of the sky and she is not retrograde. And Mars can be a bit of a passive aggressive pushover in his retrograde. Watch for conflicts in the home with somebody that you live with. And it can also be about shared resources financially, and figure out what you're going to do about that conflict. I would say watch out in the month of December for real big fractures and long-term committed love stories over arguing or breaking away from legal contracts to do with property and real estate in December, and the obvious shift of that energy being really in your face around the middle of the December timeframe. And if you're going to have some fracture around a real estate business, property contract, and debts and mortgages and banks and loans, it's nothing new because it's still connected to that retrogradation of Mercury. So you're looking at old stories still in your face at this time. I'm just sitting with something before I make an offer to you. I want to make sure I don't overstate this. This is general bell curve astrology. Remember that the long game of this month is how to stabilize a long-term committed love partnership and or business dealings. And so over time, that direct Saturn talking with Juno says in December, mid-month, ride it out. Don't quit the business partnership. Don't quit the job. Don't quit the relationship. There's enough strength here for you to stick in with it and work it out. And so much to choose from. I'm just trying to pick what I think you need to know without going back into my long form video, which I covered it. Venus on December 19th, 20th is going to trine Jupiter, double your luck. Jupiter is in your money house. Venus is in your 10th house. It's a nice lift in your finances connected to career or reputation or social standing matters. And it's really a lovely time for something like, it is like getting the Christmas bonus December 21st to the 29th. I mean, December 19th to the 20th. It is like winning at work, winning at money, winning at succeeding in your public appeal. Venus up there can make you kind of like a micro celebrity and something about being appreciated in the public eye, but it also fortifies you financially in a nice little blow up vibe. You can only get this Jupiter Venus. I'll be covering that in my week ahead video for that once every 12 years in this way, right? It happened last time 12 years ago. So this is a nice, really sweet spot in the sky, Taurus. So enjoy that. Don't forget a much longer, deeper dive of up to 30 minutes each video is already out, and that will help you navigate each detail of the month ahead in much more gritty ways. And so just consider that video your next pit stop. Go back to August 19th. What were you dealing with? It felt gritty and uncomfortable when it came to matters to do with what Jupiter wants to do, which is to increase your financial prosperity, and Saturn, your social friendships and groups. And it's just a classic. Go back to August. Were you working really hard to make money at the expense of social times with friends? Did your friends bring you down? I mean, Jupiter was direct, but Saturn was retrograde. Were friends heavy and hard? Did some old friends from the past come back to you? And, what were you doing with friends back then? Okay. But also career gains and, earning more money in your career and doing well is up in the 11th house. And Saturn was retrograde, trying to go back over old ground. And you might have felt like, well, back in August, you were plowing through thick soil in the work and career place. And yet Jupiter was saying more money, more money, more money. Did you bite off more you could chew in the work story? Or did you just have a conflict between your social life and networks and friendships and something to do with money making? And that was August. And it's back again this year, like December 20th to the end of the month. And so you just have another one of those vibes. It's a little different because Saturn's working hard and disciplined and going direct, but Jupiter is the one retrograding. And he's not just so interested in ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching on the money story. He's going deep and inward to find out deep in your bounty. What golden eggs of prosperity are you really here to plant, actually? Are they worthy of your time? Are they true? Are they wise? And so now you may be very disciplined at work, but less interested in the last 10 days of December in the money. You're like, what the heck? I'm like, so it's just kind of a vibe, it's subtle, but not. So compare it to August, it'll have similarities for you. Capricorn moon at the end of the month is kind of important, I say, because you're earthy and it's trining you. So a new beginning, and it could put you in touch with foreign countries, new school, educational, academic opportunities. It could put you in touch of a new fresh beginning when it comes to courts and legal matters, judges and lawyers. New beginnings when it comes to long-term committed love stories that look like a third marriage. And finally, new beginnings when it comes to matters of publications, book publishing, and publishing industry. Fresh start, new beginning, new moon up here. It unfolds over the course of 6 months, of course. So it's December 30th at 6 months. But because Pluto's no longer there and Pluto's in the 10th house, anything you do here, like education or travel, it will sort of ruffle and feather over into your 10th house of social standing and reputation. And Saturn says about that new moon from Pisces, he says, let's make some new beginnings in our 9th house that are going to prosper us in our career gains as well. All right, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. Here are some highlights for you in the month of December 2024. First of all, you have Jupiter hanging out with you, right? You can't ignore it, right? It's right there. Jupiter got here already on last May, mid-May, I think the 18th of May, no, the 23rd of May, and he's going to leave here on the 9th of June next year. And you're so lucky, oh, so damn lucky, and expansive and growing and biting off a lot more than you can chew because Jupiter likes to go big without the details. However, I have a progressed Gemini sun. My example is teaching Sky Reader class was way more I was scrambling way more than I thought I needed to. I bit off a lot more than I can chew because I had to find some really beautiful astrologer assistants to help me with some of the homework monitoring in the Facebook group and stuff, because I didn't expect to get so many students. And so biting off more than one can chew, that kind of thing. Jupiter is going to be still retrograde right through to February. So keep in mind, when I talked about the beginning intro, everybody's retrograde, you need to really pay attention like the Aries do with the Mars retrograde. This is a retrograde that says, don't make major life decisions in December that you're not going to have to redo. Right? Just don't jump onto some kind of faith, hope, and optimism and exuberance for anything, a new job, a new career, a new home. Let yourself settle and let it settle until you get through to February 4th onward, February 4th, when Jupiter stations direct. So I would call your December and January as a Gemini as let yourself sit with what you need to know, gnosis, not what you think, not your information, not your pro-con list. These are mercurial things. These are Gemini things. You're asked to go deeper and discover the truth within, the gnosis, the inner knowing. The Sufis say, I think, I feel, or I know. It's the knowing heart. Thinking and feeling aren't true, but knowing is. So you're going for knowing truth about something that you need to know in order to create success in your career and your long-term relationship with your children, with where you live, with everything. Now, this is a month in which Jupiter gets all tangled up with opposition. So we're going to bring that up. So stay tuned. But I want to remind you, you're still lucky. You're deepening your bounty. You may not see the overt luck, October 9th behind us through to February the 4th. I can attest to that with my progressed Gemini sun. Progressions are not as powerful as your natal, by the way. But I definitely know that Jupiter will bounce back again and everything will be going forward in prosperity, luck, and expansion and growth in February. So that's my first advice. Just wait it out. Number 2, I don't mind Algol, Venus, Uranus trine at all for you or me or anybody actually. But keep in mind that Uranus is coming from far off foreign distant lands and shores or, commerce from those places. And he wants to have a flow to Venus here on December 2nd, 8th house, 12th house axes of the chart is wide awake. This is like chunky money that I don't know, you can get some chunky money here. But you've been getting a bit of chunky money here once a year since 2018. So it's not all new. What's different is that Uranus is on it once every 84-year hatching a wealth star called Algol. So look for that chunky money vibe, unexpected little pickup in your financial fortunes. I describe chunky money in every video. I get tired of unearned income. Money didn't make, came to you in some other way, inheritance, spousal support, divorce settlements, blah, 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 investments in the markets, tax rebates, those sorts of things. Now, there's a Cazimi of Mercury in the heart of the sun that is quite lovely as well because it's in the house of significant others, but that's also your clients, your marketplace, your husband, wife, your business partner, and the audience you reach out to. And a Cazimi is a particularly magical day. So use that Cazimi of December 5th. Look to your emails and phone calls. Wait for someone to come in and reach out to you, because whoever does, it's going to be an important message, phone call, email, or conversation with a significant person in your life around the Cazimi of December 5th. And it should be positive. Cazimis are blessed energy, and it can really bring something that Jupiter wants you to see happen, which is more luck and expansion in your life, in your career, because that's the land that Jupiter owns. He owns your 10th house of career, and he's talking to that Mercury as the Cazimi happens. So career opportunities can be opening up for you around December the 5th in ways that you didn't expect, but are quite magical, from significant others in the outside world. And I'm looking for what I need to see here. I covered the Cazimi. What else would I like you to know about? Certainly the Venus-Mars opposition is going to be pitting you. Let's go back to Venus conjunct on December 6th. Venus conjunct Pluto. This is not just about the day of December 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. It can't be. Venus is going to do this once a year for the next 20. You're learning something deeply profound in the next 20 years about spiritual truth and the blessings of Venus in a Lakshmi house, wealth and prosperity in alignment with purpose. And what you're going to notice, that wealth and prosperity in alignment with purpose and dharma and the meaning of life is something that's really being brought to your attention in a very important way around December 6th to the 10th. You may be pondering things here, like going back to school, traveling to another country, working abroad. There are so many, publishing a book, but this is wealth and prosperity and purpose all blended into one little trio for you over the next 20 years. And this is one of the flavors, and it flows to the nodes of fate. We'll be covering that in more depth when I do this for the weekly video. Also coming up, which is tomorrow's video, if you're watching this on a Sunday, lucky Venus trining Jupiter, who could go wrong? Luck upon luck, December 19th and 20th. Now, Venus has moved into your 9th house, and Jupiter's lucky you in the 1st house. What could it mean? I don't know. You are going to have a lucky opportunity to get a visa, to travel abroad, to get a book publishing deal, to find an agent, to succeed at a legal court matter with an unbelievably lucky outcome. So 9th house, 4th house, 1st house, luck upon luck, some kind of lucky prosperity moment coming through somebody you know who's a guide, mentor, or teacher as well. Those are 9th house people. And it looks like a very positive and sweet and maybe lucky prosperity development as well. The last thing I want to mention is, like, end of the month, we have a 9-degree Capricorn moon, and I'm covering that for everyone because it's the first moon, basically. We'd have Pluto hanging out there. It's a new beginning and a fresh start in a way you've never done before, really, in which there is a new beginning without Pluto energy, heavy energy there. A lot of you got richer over the last 2008 onwards through, divorces and separations and inheritances and property sale or whatever. But now it's not like that kind of chunky money anymore. Pluto's kind of moved on. He's making money in the 9th house for you, or wealth up there. And this is a moon that's really all like allowed to do its own thing. What are these new beginnings that you wish to start in the next 6 months after the 30th, or the 2 weeks and 6 months after? It could really begin a new start with occult knowledge, studies, research, becoming an occultist, an expert tarot reader, astrologer. It could start you on a new direction when it comes to the way you are handling your long-term treasure chest of investments and retirement savings, and a new beginning and a fresh start is happening in this area of your sky at the end of the month. Certainly the December 30th into the first 2 weeks of January, you should have an idea of what this new moon is trying to bring you. And this new moon is also, of course, in a position in the sky where it's still connected in a whole sign flow to Uranus in the 12th house. So there's a general feeling that we're still feeling that there's a greater degree of surprising wealth that's available over the next 6 months after this particular new beginning, new moon, ruled by Saturn, who wants all that wealth to show up in the career and reputation space. Doesn't look like a lottery win quite to me. I could be wrong, though. The only time I'd say you're going to get a lottery win, if you're going to get one, it's going to come off of Venus, Pluto up here with the harvest goddess in the house of governments flowing to the south node of a fated win in the house of winning money. So yeah, maybe you could win money in the month of December. You could. Don't listen to me. Don't go gamble your money, but you could win some money this month as well. New moon in the eighth house could be you have so much money, you're going to have to get a super financial investor to invest your millions for you, right? There's an option. Let me know, Gemini, later on what happened. Okay. What about you, Cancer? What about you, Sun, Moon, and Rising people? Well, first of all, this is a story where you're going to experience the beginning of this month very lucky energy between Uranus and Venus, as we all will feel this bit of a day or two on the 2nd of December. And what you might get out of this wealth star Uranus once every 84-year moment flowing to Venus from a position of your 7th house is it's not really about you. Your marriage partner, significant other, it could be a sibling that is 3 siblings older than you, has a lucky break. Something positive and surprising and good is happening in their lives. And, it's like your marriage partner tells you they got a raise or a promotion or something like that. So there's kind of a cosmic reward, a pennies from heaven windfall with someone in your life, not yourself. Okay. And it's ruled by Saturn, where this, Venus will be, and Saturn's in the 9th house. So that could also be connected to a surprising development legally, that's positive around legal agreements, contracts, and judges, and feeling like you just won the jackpot of some positive legal outcome. And good things could happen here as well in connection to a lucky break regarding a long distance travel opportunity with someone significant in your life, including a sibling one older than you. Now, the Cazimi of Mercury is important. Mercury will be in the heart of the sun on December 5th. And what you can use that for in Sagittarius is a fresh start with health protocols, particularly revelations about health. You know what I mean? Like you don't know why your foot is hurting or your fingernails are looking weird. And you get this like a moment of clarity or some result from a test that solves the problem around December 5th. It's also really good for rental contract agreements and pets and debt eliminations, and also for just good things happening in the workplace. And so there's a nice little breakthrough moment, insight moment, positive opening by the sky that feels really good. Of course, a lot of Cazimis happen through emails, phone calls, text messages. Mercury has to give you some news of some sort. But in the 6th house, it would be professionally oriented or connected to animals, connected to health matters. So keep that part of it in mind. And it's ruled by Jupiter in your 12th house of hospitals. So it definitely can be some good health matters as well, and animal and pet matters as well. And if you're looking to rent a property as a tenant or a landlord, these kinds of things are very blessed, and positive things begin to show up for you. Venus on December the 6th or so is entering into the 8th house. And I love that conjunction to Pluto because it's a money house. And this is a money conjunction. It's called a trillionaire yoga, and it brings wealth. So you get to do this once a year for the next 20 years as you're going to accumulate profound transformation in your wealth and long-term treasure chest monies, most of you. This conjunction flows to the nodes of fate around December 6th to the 10th. You kind of feel like there's a destined thing happening that's opening up more prosperity, more wealth, more money for you. But it also connects to the parts of your sky that connect to your career and your purposeful career, Chiron, and matters to do with home and real estate. Some of you may have an opportunity to purchase a home or sell a home, refinance a mortgage or a loan, or increase your success in your career financially coming up around December 6th to the, say, 10th. And I cover a lot more depth in my longer videos. Please go watch those videos. This is just a quickie. I should remind every sign you have a 30-minute video by me already that's already out. Go check the playlist link for all those 30 videos in my description box and pinned to the comments. Now, I like the energy here quite a lot between... No, let's go back. I mean, just watch out for fight. I'm just not even tell you why I'm saying anything. It's easier to just say, watch out for money fights in your household. Watch out for middle of the month around December 12th, some arguments with the shared resources. You might be fighting with a spouse or somebody you live with even, but there's some kind of conversations ongoing here or children, conflicts about money with children, especially adult children, or to do with money that is shared with your spouse or significant other. And there just is some kind of financial battle that might occur in the middle of December, and it will pass. It will last like December 12th, a day before and after maybe. So just breathe through that one. You will get through it. I really think it's about agreements around money and lovers, children, business projects, entrepreneurial endeavors. You could even have kind of a entrepreneurial crisis, right? Where you thought you're going to get a bank loan for your business or something and it didn't work out, and you're having to go to fight for what you to think you deserve. But unfortunately, Mars is not very good shape for fighting. You of all people, Cancer, do not get your gentle work done this month. You have a retrograde Mars in the house of the face, including your teeth. And so I'm going to caution you, wait it out. He will come out of this house and be retrograde in the general house of your body after January 6th. And he goes direct in February. But certainly the teeth, do not do major dental work with major dental work. I wouldn't even go for a cleaning if you can until after January the 6th. I also wouldn't do facial surgeries, dermabrasion, lasers. Things will go south on you. Anything, heat, lasers, heat, Botox needles, something like that. Just keep away from that stuff, all right? Until January 6th, things will go south with Mercury unpredictably retrograde and heading into out of bounds. Now, what else do you need to know? The lucky trine is so sweet. Look at the lucky. We're going to end up with Venus here flowing in a beautiful trine to this part of the sky. It's literally a chunky money vibe. So unexpected financial gain from a foreign shore, foreign place, foreign entity, foreign land, foreign company. Like when you invest in stocks, half the times companies are foreign. An unexpected, surprising, lucky break regarding matters to do with far off foreign travel, matters to do with lucky breaks regarding the money you share with the spouse, lucky breaks with banking, refinancing, mortgages, and property purchase and sales are all showing up in this 19th to the 20th lucky strike kind of vibration for you. And then go back to August of 2019 when you had that square. What was it like? August of 2024, around the 19th, about all of August, really. There was a gritty tension and you're trying to resolve it again. You're like, oh my God, that was hard back in August. Now what am I going to do? It's back. It's back like the 20th to the end of December. And the tension is between Jupiter and Saturn. Now that can literally look like in August, you had travel plan tensions, travel or educational or foreign land mini crises or tensions going on. You could have had a crisis of spiritual faith of some sort where harder things made you question your belief in a divine power or something like that. You might have also had some challenges regarding legal matters that involve judges or courts. That's one possibility, or some setbacks in the publishing industry or the educational ambitions that you had. Those are things that just felt gritty for you in the month of August. And now things are going to move forward and do it one more time. One more time. Oh my God, reminds me of a song. So you got one more pass here. It's a little bit different, but I would say that the last 10 days of December, Jupiter wants to buoyantly do something without the details. Saturn says caution. Mercury says, I'm going direct. So you may have some changes you want to make in the last 10 days of December with matters to do with work, with travel, foreign lands, income generated from those far off foreign shores, visas, passports. It's not a good travel time. If you're wanting to do long distance travel and you're going to find that something's constricting that travel, or that it's feeling really gritty to get it to work, or maybe you thought you'd go off on like a 30-day vacation and now you realize you only have time for 2 weeks. Something like that is grinding into the last 10 days of the month, ending with a Capricorn moon on the 9th of the month. We got to love that moon. It's Pluto free. This is a blessing for your marriage, blessing for your business partnerships, a blessing for how you reach out to audience, marketplace, and clients. As a new fresh start and a new beginning, and Saturn sextiles it and says, we're bringing the new blessings in your significant long-term love relationship into a matter of faith, into a matter of more spiritual harmony, into a matter of something to do with maybe you and your partner in business or love traveling to foreign countries. It's an ideal thing for legal matters in courts and judges, and final mediation and negotiation contracts working out. And it's ideal for anyone trying to get a book published by a traditional publisher. It indicates a new beginning, a fresh start that can last up to 6 months after the October 30th moon. All right, Leo, sun, moon, and rising. Let me just take a sip of my tea. Give me a minute. Okay, that's better. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. First off, you can see that Mars is a sharp sword in your hand, right? I see it. Hope you see it right there. You are very much carrying Mars energy as of brain come online, November 4th, all the way through until January the 6th. So you have a sword in your hand. You might be wielding it, defensively. You might be wielding it offensively, but you have a strong disposition for being very harsh with the sword if you need to be. So this is going to be aimed mostly at your significant others in your life, your home matters, and your career space. This is where the tension is, clients included. So Leo, you need to take some deep breaths, but on December the 6th, Mars will station retrograde. And by the time you get to December 6th, he stations retrograde. And by the time you get to January 6th, he's out of your sign. But he will be back again April 18th to January 17th. So you're not done with him yet, but he's pulling back on things that you were trying to get focused on or get going or make decisions and actions about aggressively and clearly. And, you had good Mars energy going on November 3rd, 4th until December 6th, and now it's the brakes are going back. So this is gonna have you reverse course on things that you thought you wanted or didn't want, and maybe make new decisions and choices, or just think about it longer. Just take more time. Mars is the guy that makes our willpower, our actions and decisions happen, and he's retrograde to rethink it, and he won't be able to really fully say yes to whatever he wants to choose until next year, until mid-April to mid-June. So it's kind of putting the real halt on something that you thought you were going to go for. Was it foreign travel? Was it new career directions? Was it new relationship? Was it a new home life? I don't know. But now you're going to rethink that. Okay. Redo that. We're not going to, I'd advise you not to make major decisions. Don't get any kind of surgery to your body if you can avoid it. But no, of course, medical emergencies aside, of course. But, he's retrograde, and then someone will leave the sponge in and have to go back in, or there'll be complications perhaps. So Mercury retrograde is the god of surgery retrograde. It's not great. So he will retrograde December 6th through to January 6th in your sign. So that's when you should just avoid those things unless it's unavoidable. The beginning of the month on December 2nd, we have a Venus Algol storyline. A lucky break coming through the workspace could be financial gain, an unexpected financial bonus connected to work and health matters and career matters and finances. Hits the Artha houses and lights you up with some kind of bonus money or unexpected positive developments in the workspace connected to the career space. Surprising, but positive. And that's going to show up for you around December 2nd. And then Mercury goes into the heart of the sun on December the 5th. Mercury in the heart of the sun is a positive thing. You usually receive good information, news, or messages in your 5th house. Some good news for your children, your romantic partner, good news about something to do with a creative project, good news about something to do with your entrepreneurial business endeavors. This little insight, this little flash of light of something Mercury and sun is coming through the sky. Yes, in a flowing, easy way that you really like. And look particularly, as I mentioned earlier, to the email, phone calls, texts around the Cazimi on December the 5th. That's when you should receive the news, whatever the news is. For just a few Leos, your partner could be pregnant because Venus is in the house of the partner, and you find out surprised that you're going to have a baby or something like that. Then we have the energy here of that square. You might have felt that, oh no, let's just bring it into, what do I want you to know? I want you to know about this. I just want to say there's a new moon, a full moon up here in the house of great gains. This is also the house of the elder sibling one above you. Allies and benefactors, and a fulfillment of full moon is up here. And it can bring like a harvest or reaping of some kind of financial gain connected to work, allies, benefactors, a sibling one older than you. And the fulfillment of any full moon can be 2 weeks after. So we're going to say December 15th at 2 weeks, you may receive some financial gain, a fulfillment of some financial gain in some way. And usually connected to things that you might have been doing with entrepreneurial or creative endeavors as well. The T-square that was really active last year in August is back again as a Saturn square Jupiter in the sky. And a Saturn square Jupiter usually just feels like tempering the optimism and making a realistic assessment. And where you're trying to do that has to do with the money that you've got in those investments and by you own with a bank, like the mortgage, or your share with your partner, your husband, or your added income or royalty money, or something like that from your endeavors. And Saturn is the cautionary note. He's the tortoise who wins the race instead of the hare. And Jupiter is like, splash. Wow, that's where the full moon is. We got all this like great gains, And Saturn says, and let's invest it wisely, or let's put it into the coffers and not spend it, or something like that. So go back to August. Did you have this push pull? This is different. Saturn is direct now. So he's very sensible, and Jupiter is retrograde. So he's going deeper into the bounty. So it can look like a miniature financial opportunity, but take your financial opportunity with a grain of caution the last 10 days of December. And finally, at the end of December, in the middle of December, I think I forgot, like the 12th of December, Venus is in a lucky trine to Jupiter. And that's always a positive thing. Never not enjoy that one. It's some lucky breaks for your significant other in love or business, or lucky breakthrough with a client and your financial gain in your career. And then we move to the end of the month. And I just think, you will like a new beginning, new moon in Capricorn. We all will, because we don't have Pluto breathing down the moon's neck. So new beginnings and fresh starts in your sixth house of work. Some of you will get a new job, start a new career path, get a new work situation, new beginnings in your health, new beginnings with pets. You might get a new pet in the 6 months that follows. The new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees on the 30th of the month of December. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. So let's start at the very beginning here. What's happening is you have a month in which you are going to experience a huge amount of Mercury retrograde. Yes, just like the Geminis, he's your guy. So reminding you that for the first 2 weeks of December, his retrogradation means that you should just pause, hold off, wait, and think more calmly about what you want to actually go for, right? Because he's retrograde in Sagittarius, which happens to be real estate, home, and property matters. So cautionary note, because as of November 26th through to mid-December, he's revising home, property, real estate, domicile, private life matters that he began to activate early November. And so now you're, revising, rethinking, redoing, re-engineering it. I don't know, but it just tells me that you need to wait till mid-December. Commercial activities in and from the home, selling and buying property and home, anything to do with what you wish to write, communicate, and do in the home needs to wait until December 15th, other than if there's some other thing going on with a retrograde here. You just may be getting in touch with people from your family of origin, you live with as a kid, going back to visit your home and homeland. Those are other possibilities. Now, there's a Cazimi of Mercury, your Lord, in the heart of the sun on December the 5th, and that is opening up a beautiful energy for you. It looks like you might be getting some really good news or some insights or some downloads, either inside of your own mind or coming through phone calls and emails, etc., text messages, who knows, around December the 5th. It may be positively surprising. It will be. Usually a Cazimi is good, felt to be a good thing. And Mercury in the heart of the sun is being watched over by Jupiter in your 10th house. So there could be nice little sweet breakthrough regarding matters to do with career and home life. So look for emails, phone calls, and text messages involving those matters, including maybe a positive increase in your long range monies connected to home. If you have a mortgage or refinance opportunity that surprises you, a credit card debt alleviation issue that goes really well. So there's something to do with money and home as well. And a really sweet spot, December the 5th. Look for those messages from the universe at that time. We have a lucky break between Venus in the sign of Capricorn. And this is going to show up on the December 2nd time frame. And that lucky break is ka-ching. Venus is talking to Uranus from the 5th house of winning, money, luck, good fortune, speculation, money that comes through wins is one of the meanings of the 5th house. And so there could be some lucky financial win coming your way, Virgo, connected to Uranus in the 9th house. Where this money comes from is anyone's guess, but if it comes through, it comes through. Ninth house monies can be government monies or monies from a father figure. You might get an unexpected, surprising good news about one of your children in higher education, unexpected positive travel opportunity with a romantic partner, maybe some lucky breaks when it comes to romance and leisure travel and foreign shores, and good news about those things possibly showing up around December 2nd. Fifth house is a luck house. Ninth house is a luck house. Let's just say surprisingly good luck stuff comes up on the 9th of the month. I mean, the 2nd of the month of December. Holy man, this is a long video. I'm losing my mojo, guys. I'm losing my Jojo mo. I wonder. I think that with in your case, I think I'm going to talk about something I didn't count for other people. You know, Neptune goes direct on December 7th. This matters because you've been dealing with these rose-colored glasses and, you know, maybe mentally ill partners or alcoholic partners or drug addicted partners since 2011. Now, Neptune was retrograde for several months. Now he's going direct. So he pulled back the fog and you got really more realistic and clear-headed about those love stories, but now he's going direct. So just be noting that change of tone in your significant long-term love relationship December 7th. It's possible that what Neptune can do, because Saturn is making your partner new realistic, is give you this new impetus to take measures to solidify the relationship. Is it time to buy a new place together or move in together or get engaged? And this energy is activated for you after December 7th. So look for those kinds of signals in a long-term committed love story. If it's time to end a relationship, it could also work that way as well, right? Just because the rose-colored glasses have been taken off, Saturn is about hard realism. So, you know, there's kind of an intensity here, December 7th, especially on the station retrograde in a long-term relationship and commitment discussions and understanding. Mars and Venus will have an oppositional energy in your chart. And normally that can be very romantic or positive, but it's hitting you on around December 12th, an axis that has a lot more to do with, you know, your work and your health and your addictions and your pleasures and turning points. You may have a very strong energy where you're trying to turn the corner on a health matter, that you're your own worst enemy and you kind of caused it yourself. And with Mars retrograde on December 6th, you're going back to look at it again. You've been thinking about it before. It's not your first pass. Starting in early November, you've been looking at your addictions and self and doing more clearly and your own bad habits as well. And now, you know, you're really going back to really reinvestigate it. You started thinking about it in November. You weren't quite ready. Mars is going to go back and really sink into it a little bit more. And with Venus and Pluto in your 6th house, it's a massive transformation in health protocols coming up for you in the month ahead, especially ones in the month of December that allow you to get underneath the surface of how some of your own self and doing about what you put in your nose or your mouth has to do with your psychology and your childhood. Excuse me for the throat thing. I love the energy of the full moon. You're fulfilling some really beautiful energies for yourself mid-December. With December 15th, a full moon in the 10th house, which will really fruit out for you after February 4th, where you're coming to either a completion in a current job or work situation, but also a fulfillment of some of your goals and ambitions and hopes up there. And when Venus trines Jupiter, which is beautiful energy on around the 19th of the month, that's the lucky break. That's like, did you get the promotion, the raise, the advancement, the new job you wanted? It's some kind of beautiful two-part story from the full moon December 15th, and then the trine between Venus and Jupiter on the 19th, 20th. And that includes self-employed people. There was a lot of grit in the sky, a lot of tension in the sky last summer in August. It's back the last 10 days of the month of December. Take a close look at the ways in which there's a desire for this career ambition and success to be unequivocal, and your reputation to soar, and your social standing to increase, and your achievements to be activated by hitting the bullseye. That's Jupiter in your 10th house with lucky breaks up there as well. My Virgo daughter out of university actually got a real job, which was a miracle in today's climate. And it was very lucky, but at the same time, Saturn is square from the marriage house. And so their marriage can get significant others, clients. Maybe you felt in August that the clients are a burden in your work. Maybe you felt that your partner is raining on your career path for some reason, and your success is not at their approval. But on the other hand, Jupiter says expand and Saturn says caution. Do you need to be more attention to the way you interact with those clients, marketplace customers? Do you need to really be more measured in the way you're dealing with your long-term marriage relationship? Jupiter bites off a lot more than he can chew in any situation in Gemini, and that's career ambition. How much career ambition is worth the cost of your marriage or the cost of your good relationships and standings with clients. So pay attention to those themes as well. Those are the grits of the last 10 days of the month. And you felt that grit as well. You already felt it last August, but in a little bit of a different way. And at the end of the month, we have a Capricorn lunation, full new moon in Cap at 9 degrees. And Capricorn for you is a very positive house. If you want to have a baby and get pregnant, it can work for you that way. You want to start a new business, new creative artistic project, can help you with that. It's really good for new romance if you're single, and it fortifies what Saturn says, commitment and long-term love. So it can bring you a romantic love partner in the 6 months that follow and a longer-term commitment. It can bring you really good outreach to marketplace and audience in a steady way from creative and entrepreneurial business endeavors as well. And that new moon is a new start without Pluto breathing down its back. So it's Pluto free new moon. I think I'm going to call it the Pluto free new moon when I put that video up for my monthly stuff. Now I'm going to take a little chocolate break and I'll be right back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Okay, let's get going again. I cannot find my happy temperature in my home. You're living like London. Don't forget to like, subscribe, please. Hit the notification bell like England or anything like that. Cold and damp, right? So that's Vancouver, Canada. It's not like it's like snowy cold. I lived in Montreal and it was great. Like I didn't mind the cold. It was more of a dry cold, as the old cliche goes, even for an island, even though it's bordered by water or a peninsula or whatever. Oh, excuse me, guys. There we go. One of those long days for me here in Vancouver, Canada. Recording this for everybody on November 28th. My Patreon community gets early access ad free, so they get this maybe tomorrow, the 29th. I need my sister to timestamp. Let's go ahead and do Libra, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. General gist of the sky. Remember, I can't move it forward. We're going to start off by mentioning that you're a Venus-ruled being, and the first thing Venus does as Lord of your sign is love you up. This is a great month because at the beginning of the month we have that trine between Venus and the well star Algol with Uranus. Yes, it's right up here. And there's some like lovely little surprise that may come through the sky for you. Now, Libra, this could be a pregnancy surprise because Venus is a fertility pregnancy type, sperm and ovum goddess in your 5th house. And, surprises, I don't know, 8th house surprises just mean that, it was hidden from view and now you're pregnant, your partner's pregnant, somebody's pregnant. So it could be a surprise going on. Oh, sorry. Recap. You're going to get a pregnancy surprise if you're going to get one, not on the square. That's the square. Oh my God. Recap. At the end of the month, okay, you're going to have a square around December 27th. And then you could go, surprise, we're pregnant. Okay, now surprise, I'm going to be a grandparent with Jupiter in your 7th. That's the end of December. Let's cut that out and go back to the beginning. There's a beautiful wealth trine between Venus in your 4th house and Uranus in your 8th. And in general, it can look like a really good opportunity financially that comes out of the blue. Buy a house, sell a house, refinance a mortgage, pay off a credit card, get an inheritance, legacy wealth comes off of this money, tax rebate from heaven, unexpected bonus checks. I don't know, something, but it can connect to land, property, home, real estate, and matters to do with your mom and dad, family of origin, and legacy wealth. So there's a little bit of a perk. Maybe mom sends you a giant check for Christmas, or dad says, you're in my will and here's an advance, or maybe you win some money or get some money through a real estate lottery. I don't know. But you're going to get some kind of positive money story going on. If you're trying to sell a house, yay you, or buy a house, this is really good news energetically, or rent a property or rent out a property, landlord, leasee. All of these things are extremely beneficial and positive. on December the 2nd, or give or take a day on either side. Looking forward to that for you. And my eyes are so dry. And next, I know you're going to criticize me for moving all over, but I'm only a tiny little face up the corner of the screen. Libra, you're going to see the energy here early in the month, around the 5th of the month, of a Cazimi, Mercury in the heart of the sun. Don't forget, I have a long deep dive video for each sign. I should remind you that there's 30 minutes just for your sign already out on my channel. This is just your overview of some highlights. So this is not covering it all, but the Cazimi that's going to happen in your third house could bring a really good day around the 5th that you should pay attention to, because it may open up an opportunity for a very big blessing from a sibling, from aunt, uncle, cousin, neighbor, some travel opportunity, some learning, educational opportunity. Look for the phone calls, texts, and emails to delight you in that way as you approach that Cazimi around the 5th of December. And then with Venus moving on the 6th into this part of your sky and Mars retrograding. Well, honestly, a lot of your career gains are going to pull back. If you want to think about December 6th to January 6th, don't be so ambitious. It's not time to like pound out, extra sales quotients or build up, your attempts to increase your career gains. Take a rest. Wait till after January 6th when Mars is out of his retrogradation in your 11th house. We're doing a deep dive video on that, so pay attention for how to really parse that. In the meantime, friends from the past could come back to you all of a sudden, like you haven't heard from those friends in ages, and suddenly they're right there. I do like the idea that, Venus and Pluto are going to conjoin here on December 6th, and this is going to open up 6th, 7th, and open up a doorway for you of some kind of opportunity financially. It can bring wealth. It can bring money, luck. It's a luck house. It is a conjunction that flows to the nodes of fate, and it could also be something to do with luck and your significant other, pregnancy and fertility, shockaroos being revealed that were hidden from you around pregnancy, fertility, children, and grandchildren. It may look like a prosperous new beginning in an artistic, creative, or entrepreneurial job or career path, or a prosperity breakthrough or expansion coming connected to a particular client or audience or marketplace endeavor or member of those areas of life. As we move into the next part of the story, I think I will really draw your attention then to the opposition between Venus and Mars. If you're in a romantic love story and you're already with someone, there just may be either a really hot date night, December 12th, or watch for conflict in romantic love or with your children and friends, and the axis of social groups as well, like a falling out with a friend over something to do with an event, a party, going to a party and having a blowout with a friend and a fracture with a friend is exactly the kind of thing I could say could happen on December 12th. The energy of the T-square that was, hovering over everybody in August is back again. And it's where you had optimism and constriction trying to oil and water it. And Saturn wants you to be more steadfast and cautious in the work and health matters. And Jupiter is like, I'm biting off more than I can chew. F off, right? So how much biting off more than you could chew kind of thing were you trying to do with publications, book publishing, podcasting, ninth house matters, foreign lands, travel? Go back to August. August, you were feeling better about it because Jupiter was direct, but now he's trying to deepen his bounty. And last time Saturn was retrograde. So we're swapping places, but it's still the same archetypes. Be more cautious, conservative, and realistic about what you can achieve with ninth house purpose and meaning, ambitions, and goals, including higher educational endeavors, teaching endeavors, foreign land travel, passports, visas, etc. Vis-a-vis matters to do with work obligations and health structures in your life. And you're going to look at that in the last 10 days of December and reconsider, how does this feel like the month of August? Because you're going to have to do it again in a new way. And You could say as well that with the Jupiter placement here, talking to Mercury, you're definitely on a learning and travel axis. So teaching, learning, online teaching gets all muddled into the last 10 days of December at the expense of what you need to do in a steadfast way with the word job, work, employment, employee. You might have gotten yourself in a muddle here. Did you find that muddle similarly there in the month of December in the first week? Because it comes back in a little bit with the Mercury thing in the last 10 days of the month. Finally, I like the new moon in Capricorn because it's a new beginning. It's a fresh start. We don't have Pluto breathing down the back. No Pluto breathing down the back of a new moon in Capricorn. And it's about a new beginning in your home life. And over the next 2 weeks after the December 30th moon, or up to the next 6 months, you might move your home, change your home, revise your home, renew your home, redecorate your home, do something with your home. Saturn says rent a new home, but you already see that this Saturn right here, right? And rentals and rental properties, this is new beginnings at home. This starts on December the 30th. So there can be some new developments regarding home and work, home and rentals, home and pets. A lot of times I see this energy playing out as a decision to get a forever pet. You're not going to babysit the dog next door. You're going to get your own cat or dog. This could definitely look like a pet story for some people. And the new moon says, okay, over the next 2 weeks or 6 months, let's bring in a pet. And then that's all I have for you. So good luck with that, Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Don't forget, there's a long form video for you. Check it out on my channel. It's got 30 minutes dedicated to you. All right, Scorpio, this is a short form video of a long-term video. There's a long form video for you, 30 minutes long at least. It's already out. It's on a playlist. I'll put the playlist for the deeper dive videos under this description box and in your comment links. But as an overview highlight, I think I want to mention Mars right away, just like I did for Aries. Why? Because Mars is retrograding on December 6th. Mars is the Lord of your sign. You are going to have to slow down. When Mars retrogrades in the career house, you're slowing down in your work. There's no two ways about it. Through to January 6th, December 6th to January 6th, someone's putting on a retrograde back pedal. It's like you're reversing the car. And you're reversing the car in the work and career matters because that's the area that Mars is turning around in. Things that you were achieving, going for, like driving for achievement and success and work and career and reputation, driving for that success in the visible sky, November the 3rd-ish, or so, or 4th to January 6th, now you're pulling back. And it's okay because Mars is pulling back to revise, rethink, revision, because ultimately he makes decisions, you see, and takes actions for you. So now you're going to pull it back. Mars will go into your ninth house of foreign travels and visas and other stuff for all the way through to mid-April, January 6th. And you'll have to deal with that stuff and then you'll come back here. I would say it's not a good month of December 6th onwards to January 6th to try to step up your game. Like, I'm going to go for it and I'm going to get that promotion, that raise, that next level. The only thing I say is that take a few deep breaths. Mars will be out of bounds in January, especially, but take a few deep breaths and just say, I made some decisions and I took some actions in November and I think glad I did them, but now I have to really sit with those gains that I made or those directional choices I made and let it sit for a bit. Will I think about it through, because back at mid-April, April 18th to June 17th, and your full systems, full on go in the career space again. All right. Some people quit jobs when Mars is up there. And you may do that, a change of job, quitting a job, leaving a job, reputation, career thing. Goodbye. April, May, June, you might do it then. But with a retrograde, maybe you thought about it in November. I'm going to change my job, move to another job, try something new, career shift. And now you're rethinking it. You're not so sure yet. Give yourself the space not to be sure. Mid-April to mid-June, you'll know what you want in that career space. You'll have it all figured out. This is the house of the father. Mars is opposite Pluto. He'll be opposite Pluto, by the way, January 3rd. I want you to really look at what was going on there in early November, around November 3rd or 4th. You had a Mars-Pluto opposition, but not in the sign of Leo, not in the sign of Aquarius. Something wants to sort of fracture here to do with home, property, land, real estate, legacy, wealth, and father figures. And this is a story that's building its tension up during the month of December so that it can be more precise in the first week of January. So take a few deep breaths, but you're going through some kind of story here to do with a pending January 3rd Mars opposition to Pluto. With the Jupiter in your eighth house, some of you may be looking at inheritance money, property sale, real estate money, but major turning points in your finances as well, especially as we move towards January. We don't mind Venus giving you a love up with Algol, so we'll take it when we can get it. Algol is a rare wealth star, 84 years. And I just say, like, okay, look, Venus is on Algol in your third house and Uranus is here. Unexpected surprise, positive surprise connected to financial matters or success matters, perhaps, with your significant marriage type partner or significant client audience. If you're in the online social sphere, then you're doing well. You might have a viral hit with your audience. That would be something taking off in your social media land, for example, or an unexpected travel opportunity with a significant other. This is all happening around December the 2nd. Then we move forward into the idea of the Cazimi. I love Mercury in the heart of the sun, delivering good financial information, news, insights, and ideas to you. Kaboom is showing up in your reality, to courtesy of Mercury in the heart of the sun. When is it showing up? It is showing up in the Cazimi of December the 5th. You'll notice that Mars will be turning retrograde, and that could also blend in career financial opportunities from bosses, coworkers, colleagues, and people in career sphere and reputation sphere from your past, bringing you some information, text messages, and phone calls on December 5th, 6th that will be really showing you which direction to go with the work, career, money, earning story. If you go back to the feeling of being in the month, oh, let's not forget Venus, Pluto. Yeah. And then, of course, you can't get Venus, Pluto, a wealth yoga in the fourth house with Ceres, cutting, ending, and severing, connected to Jupiter in your eighth house. And this is a story that's like a wedge of prosperity, but I have to say that's chunky money. That's money coming from your spouse or your business partners or inheritances or spousal separations or stock investments. I don't know what it is, but there's something trying to happen for you guys in December. And it's like, you're really starting to feel it, like as the Pluto Venus December 6th to the 10th really intensifies some kind of financial situation. I mean, at the simplest level, buying and selling, refinancing a mortgage, buying and selling a property, those sorts of things. Other things can be more outside the box. You find out your great aunt June has put you in her will, and you're going to get some money, and you're so, oh my God, I can't believe this just happened to me. I kind of want to talk about August only briefly. Had a gritty T-square. We all felt what happened with Jupiter and Saturn for the month of August was you were biting off a lot of, exuberance regarding mortgages. I use my son as an example. He and his wife were like, this is what they were doing in August. We're gonna buy another house, an investment property, and we've got a pre-mortgage for it, and we can do this. And I'm thinking, I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think what you're seeing is realistic. And is exactly what happened. So they had this big exuberance around finances, banking, loans, credit cards, brokers, mortgages, banks. Yay, we can do this. And then it all went downhill because what we had was a Jupiter biting off more than he could chew in the sign of Gemini. And now he's doing the same thing, but he is retrograde. So it could be the same issue. What kind of bank loan mortgage thing were you doing in August that you kind of maybe have to go back and do again? He's retrograde. But with Saturn, the cautionary voice of realism chiming in yet again. Because he's in the fifth house of money, good fortune, money, luck, good fortune, joy, fun, and play and pleasure. It's not a bad placement. It really is a good spot for him. And I think the motivation for my son and his wife was to get a bigger place for having a child together. They just got married this summer, but this is a house of children. You could have some issues, Scorpio, with one of your children in financial matters, or one of your children's financial matters are your attention, August, and again, when the last 10 days of December, this opposition is playing up. But Saturn has got a steady hand. He wants you to be cautious, but realistic, conservative, and measured in your response to a financial opportunity that may emerge, especially with Mercury across the way at the end of December, creating a T-square, and he's direct. Look for financial opportunities emerging in your life that also require a measure of realistic and measured response. Okay. When Jupiter goes direct on February 4th, whatever this is may actually pan out for you, right? But be careful and get those fine details and fine print. Get a lawyer in, get a real estate, get someone to look at the details of this opportunity. It looks like a financial opportunity, but it requires caution at the last 10 days of the month of December. And for some of you, it could involve land, property, real estate, inheritances, shared monies with a spouse. Who knows? Finally, a Capricorn moon is happening, which is quite lovely. We have the lucky Jupiter, Venus. Everyone doesn't get everything, guys. It's in my long form video. Jupiter trines Venus, lucky money opportunities regarding land, property, home, real estate, legacy, wealth, and inheritances on the 19th and 20th. Then at the end of the month, we have the Mercury and the new moon without Pluto breathing down its back for the first time, like 16 years. A new beginning, a new moon with online social media, writing, communicating, marketing, selling, traveling, skills-based learning and education, new beginnings. What does it mean? Some of you might go back to school and learn a new trade or skill in the next 6 months after the December 30th moon. You may have some positive developments with your social media life, and you start a fresh start in the land of media, social media and real-time media, like the old school media. Third house, you could have a really great opportunity coming with or from or by or shared with a younger sibling, one younger than you. You could have a really golden opportunity coming through your sky for a trip, travel, and adventure. And this is something you're going to see opening the door of a new beginning coming up December 30th. And you may unfold the truth of that over the 6 months that follow. Thanks, Scorpio, for listening. Lori's going to get through this. She really is. I need to retire my voice. I need voice therapy. All right. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Don't forget, there's a long form 30-minute video already out for your sign. This is just some highlights. I like the fact that is a Jupiter ruled being. Jupiter is retrograde. I don't like it, but it's what it is. It's what you need to pay attention to. Have you noticed when Jupiter entered your 7th house last year or this year, I'm still in 24, that he entered your 7th house in May 23rd or so, or 6th, whatever, somewhere around there, 25th, that your partner became very significantly demanding of your attention? Did you notice that? Something about your long-term love partner? If you didn't have one, you might have brought one in. But it's almost like a business partner, a love partner, or a marketplace audience clients suddenly are larger than life in your face, right? And you have a lot of a need to pay attention to whatever their king and queen of Mount Olympian demands are. So there's that happening for a lot of you. If you don't have a partner, you're still trying to bring somebody in, especially through to June 9th. That's how long Jupiter's here. You might find with Jupiter here, though, this is a retrograde, and this is Jupiter's blessings and retrograde. You and or your partner in love and business are reconsidering the relationship to deepen the bounty, looking at what's true and not true and what's hopeful and not realistic here. And Jupiter retrograde here is a timeout sometimes. Maybe your partner and the relationship is kind of slowed down, or there's been some, kind of a something about it's not expanding. It's maybe just holding on or contracting a bit. You're going back over old ground that you and a long-term love partner began to consider, or your business partner, July of 2024. And you'll get over that backwards track on to February 4th. So a lot of this month is just more of that retrograde Jupiter. You really can't go forward in a long-term business, love, or marketplace endeavor between October 9th and February 4th. So be patient with that situation. Jupiter will have the final Jupiter housekeeping seal of approval on the business deal, the business partnership, the legal contract, the marketplace, and the long-term marriage. He'll let you know what's true and real on February 4th, and especially around February 4th as he stations to turn around. A very important, decisive moment in love, business, and marketplace. That said, Jupiter is getting embroiled in a couple of gnarly moments of the sky, but I'll give you the happy things first. I don't mind that Venus and Uranus. Venus is in a Algol Uranus trine once every 84 years. You can get this. Take it while it's hot. Venus is in a flow from late Capricorn right here. Late Capricorn. This is money and work. So great money and work opportunities the first couple of days of December. Basically, that's what that is. Surprises you as well. The Mercury Cazimi gives you a chance to reset a button here in your first house of identity. What do you think? What do you know? What do you want? What are your ideas? What are you coming up with? Pay attention to your, dreams, your daydreams, messages, synchronicities from the radio that bring to a mind something that you're really supposed to know or pay attention to. And the Cazimi is on the 5th of December. It is also a time when you can also note that Venus-Pluto combination down here is really good for powerful transformation and shifts in the relationship you have to a sibling younger than you, or your extended aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, and cousins. I need to go get water again. And I don't think that you could go wrong with this one because it does sextile you, but it is also about profound transformation through learning. So you may engage in a webinar or something like that, or sign up for one, or discover a webinar, course, online course, social media event of some kind that can be quite personally transformative for you. And that would be around December the 6th. And some conflict with travel plans as well. Be careful mid-December. You might want to travel. You have plans to travel. You're sure you were going to do it. You've been to that place before. And then all of a sudden there's a conflict of what you really desire and what you've committed to do in the middle of December. So travel can be gnarly then as you deal with your tension of Mars and Venus. Alrighty, a conflict or a tension with an elder sibling or a younger sibling can happen December 12th as well for you. A sibling two older and one younger. The T-square was there last year. You're feeling it again. It happened in August. August, you might have been feeling really intense grit and tension regarding what you really wanted to see happen last August in your significant long-term committed love, business partnerships, and audience outreach. Jupiter and Saturn, what was going on in the home? Are you contracted, lonely, alone, melancholic, nostalgic? Where is there an elder in the home? Is there tension because you have an elder? Is your wife or husband's elder living in the home? What's going on here, guys? You felt it in August. It's back again the last 10 days of December. It's a redo. It's a little bit different. Jupiter wants to calm down now and really still think about that 7th house story. And Saturn is like, I'm solid. I know what I want. I'm being realistic. So there's almost like a kind of go back to August in a significant relationship with a business love partner, especially regarding home and land and raw property, also real estate offers and property sale offers that may have been occurring in August, but maybe failed to materialize or back in the storyline. Again, similar themes could be emerging here as well in the last 10 days of December. And finally, a Capricorn new moon is going to bless you and it lights you up as a new beginning, a fresh start in your finances. And if you've been wondering if, ever Pluto would leave your second house alone, he has finally gone. I was just reading about Rudy Giuliani, born with, I think he has Pluto in his second house natally. I was just thinking about those people who've gone through this. It's really kind of intense, because you can have a lot of money and then no money. You'd be like going deep into wealth and then destitution. A lot of stuff happened for you, Sagittarius, around money issues since 2008. So Pluto's finally left, and now you have a new beginning in your finances without any Pluto story to bother you. So pay attention to new financial opportunities in your life, new beginnings, and how you make and earn money, maybe radical new directions of career because of Uranus. And you're just going to get a sense of a fresh start here, December the 30th. And then the 2 weeks that follow, the first 2 weeks of January, look for clues that you kind of found an exhilarating new food style or work opportunity direction that may be completely surprisingly outside the box of the kind of work you thought you were going to do in this world or would want to do in this world. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. I just need to take a water break and I'll be finishing the last 3 signs in this series. All right, 3 more signs to go, and I've got my voice back. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and don't forget that there's a longer 30-minute video already out. This is meant to be the highlights or the overviews, big picture video. So here we have our Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising people, and you're ruled by Saturn, and Saturn's pretty well solidly plunked his bum into the sign of your 3rd house, Pisces, although he did go direct mid-November. So basically, you're now moving forward, as you will happen since 2023. March, ending in February 26, stabilizing your 3rd house stories. This is giving you a lot of determination, but also maybe structure and maybe rigidity and maybe heaviness with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, and nephews, travel, writing, social media. This is where Saturn is either helping you stabilize or build a backbone, or also giving you a sense of heavy energy. Maybe you don't even like your neighbors. Maybe you feel alone in the neighborhood. Your neighborhood feels isolated for you, that kind of thing. My ex moved to Portugal. He's on a golf course, but I think he feels isolated there. Humble opinion. So Capricorn, rising fella. So guys, that's a backdrop narrative, right, as a story for you. And now let's go into the month and what some highlights would be. Certainly Venus is moving through your sign as we are in the month of December already. And so you're enjoying that ride through to December 6th as you get more physically attractive, new haircut, maybe new wardrobe, and just feeling really genial, congenial, and maybe good about yourself. Other people like you more now too, until December 6th. But also on December 2nd, Venus is in your sign and flowing to Algol, wealth star Uranus combo, last seen 84 years ago in this way. And it's like kind of a sweet glow up and blow up regarding matters to do with your finances in lucky ways. Like this is the money luck. You could win some money is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, never know with this combination, but you just have a sense of being lucky, something exciting, unexpected, surprising to do with fertility. You're going to be a grandparent. You're pregnant. Your partner's pregnant. Those kinds of stories can also come off of this surprise of Venus, fertility goddess, and Uranus in the house of children, and surprises in the life of your children that make you smile, and you're really excited to hear the information, or their surprises make you pleased. Let's put it that way. And that's December the 2nd. And as we move through the month of December, we have a Mercury Cazimi, and the heart of the sun says, Mercury, I am birthing myself all over again. Look, listen to the ethers, guys. Your dreams at night, get your dream journal out, pay attention to your meditations. If you meditate, insights coming from deep within, dream messages as well, very much on the radar on the Cazimi of the 5th of the month. And pay attention to what those messages might want to tell you about your health and your work. Especially your health and your work matters, as well as travel opportunities coming through emails, phone calls, and text messages connected to far off foreign lands on December 5th, maybe connected to travel and work opportunities as well. As we move into the energy of the next thing, I don't think I'm going to belabor it because I'm going to do a deep dive in my weekly video. But hey, there's a long form video out for you already. Go check it. But this is a conjunction between Pluto, Venus, and Ceres. It's going to be very active in the sky on December the 6th through the 10th. And you could find yourself 10th, 11th, even having some very intense, profound shift regarding financial matters with Mars in your 8th house in retrogradation since December the 6th, things from your past to do with money, resources, inheritances, and financial matters are, especially to do with property, land, real estate, and inheritance. These stories from the past are really getting your attention around December the 6th. And you might even find a bit of a wealth yoga blessing here with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction. However, we have a lot of retrograde planets, and the delay in receiving the blessing may take till February 4th when Jupiter goes direct. But you may learn of some financial shift as positive. And technically, Jupiter may say, as he witnesses this conjunction in a whole sign flow, where we have December 15th, a full moon, it looks like you could get some kind of situation that allows you to pay down or pay off a debt, like a mortgage, a bank loan, a credit card, or a situation that allows for you to receive some kind of employment work, money opportunities. And maybe connected to foreign shores and foreign lands. For some of you, that could be true. Otherwise, you may come through a breakthrough turning point regarding spousal assets, especially December 15th, 12th to the 15th, where you have to go to battle over spousal resources or spousal shared resources, especially in separation agreements. Big turning points this month for those of you separating out of long-term committed love marriage stories and having to negotiate financially. You got the upper hand, I think, with the way the Venus-Jupiter-Pluto conjunction happens, and your partner would have the weaker hand with the retrograde Mars. Jupiter wants what's fair. He goes direct on the 4th, and that's when your legal matters can flow a lot better. And don't try to appeal to a judge or a jury yet, because Mercury's retrograde and rules your house of courts. And the whole idea of the Mercury retrograde in your 12th house is interiority. going in, unless you're traveling to a country you've been to before or far offshore from where you currently live, then Mercury retrograde the first 2 weeks of December is asking you to go inward and really look at the inside out version of what you actually desire and what you actually want. Even the Venus Pluto conjunction, it is in a sextile to the North Node in the fourth house of property, land, home, and real estate. And where do you really want to live? Where's your true home? Where are you going to feel less wounded? Because Chiron says, I feel wounded wherever I go. You could have an opportunity to win money. I should have said that. I think I did. Lottery wins come off the fifth house, and changes of home off of winning money can happen for a very few of you. A very few of you could win money and have a chance to change your home. Otherwise, you still have some money luck one way or the other. Venus trines Uranus, and it's Uranus in a money luck house, and that's early December. I kind of want to mention a little bit about how you might want to deal with the opposite, the square between Jupiter and Saturn around the 20th to the 30th of December, as by going back to the month of August, because this tension was here then as well, same way. Jupiter wants you to, bite off more than you can chew in your health protocols, in your work situation, in your office, job, employer situation, and you're really working the Jupiter energy there, but he's retrograde. So he's trying to slow it down since October 9th. But he was Jupiter here, square Saturn here in August. So there may have been some constraints or some constrictions or some restrictions regarding travel and work, maybe regarding situations of difficulty with neighbors, a younger sibling, neighborhood, aunts, uncles, cousins, and contraction. Jupiter is squaring Saturn, but Jupiter wants bounty. He's just retrograde until February 4th. So a bounteous work opportunity could be on the menu here, but you have to be cautious about it. And this is the month of December. This is the last 10 days. If there is a work opportunity coming your way, then in the last 10 days of December, it is about a cautious opportunity for work travel opportunity, more or less, or a cautious opportunity regarding an uncle, aunt, cousin, sibling, niece, nephew, and what you want to do with that regarding the word livelihood, service, and work. So Saturn is seeing things realistically, and he knows what he's doing. And Jupiter still is in a muddle of a retrograde. Jupiter's pondering things that you've been doing since last July when it comes to money that's connected to work, when it comes to your pets, when it comes to rentals, when it comes to work situations. You've been kind of in you were doing something from July to October 9th, and then you're backtracking, deepening the bounty. Now, it's always opportunity with Jupiter, last 10 days of December, just like there might have been opportunity in August, but it's also tension. And with Mercury in your 12th house, this opportunity may be connected to backroom deals and negotiations, far off foreign shores and distant places and foreign people. Last 10 days of December, get your fine print out, get your lawyers in, read the details. You will miss them. Jupiter can't see those details. And Mercury is also in detriment. But the good news is the last 10 days of the month, he's in direct motion. So this is a yes. You can take this opportunity with scrutiny should an opportunity arise. Finally, new moon beginning in Capricorn. You don't mind it. Who wouldn't? We don't have Pluto breathing down the Capricorn new moon's back. New beginnings, fresh starts, reboots of all kinds in your identity. I am married, single. I am healthy, I am unhealthy, I am a parent, how do you I am your life? This is your I am, and you're having a new refreshing start in your I am nature. And so I am something, new beginnings, fresh starts, new beginnings with Pluto breathing down your back, right, guys? And maybe with Saturn in the third house, the I am connects to your new neighborhood, your new relationship to travel, your new writing a project. I am something. You may have a new I am connected to new marketing and selling online opportunities as well. A new I am connected to a new neighborhood wouldn't surprise me here either, given the North Node in the fourth house. And that's what I've got for you. Thanks for listening, Capricorn. Hey, Aquarius, you know that I am indeed one of you. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. I am Aquarius rising. Let's get this show on the road. This is going to be a new beginning of a month of December. And there's a long form video that's 30 minutes for you already on my playlist. But this is a quickie where I'm kind of going over some highlights. So first of all, if you want to get the 30-minute video, it's pinned to the time stamps in the comments, and it's on my channel. Those came out just a few days before this one. You're like a Capricorn, you're Saturn ruled. And so Saturn is stationed direct in mid-November in your second house. Don't be afraid of Saturn. He got here in 2023, March. He doesn't leave until February full-time, February 26th. And he's stabilizing, structuring your finances, your savings. He doesn't want to spend, he wants to conserve. He's giving you solid financial sagacity. I always use my example, me, I incorporated, thank God, in the nick of time. Instead of giving my government 55% of my money, I don't have to do that. I'm incorporated. It's 11%, but then I have to pay myself money. And then I have to pay my taxes on my income. But you get the gist. So how are you stabilizing an Aquarian? What is stabilizing your financial resources, your savings? And this just continues throughout December. But Saturn will get all muddled up with Jupiter in a square, and we'll get to that later. Now, in the beginning of the month, Algol will start every 84 years. You can see what I'm about to describe. Venus in the sign of Capricorn will trine the well star Algol and Uranus for surprises. And the Algol star is in the property, homeland, and real estate. This encourages you to be successful from home, surprise, maybe on the internet, but also it could be from family member, mom or dad, or legacy wealth enters a shocking or surprising, unexpected wealth up during December 2nd. And with Venus in the 12th house, it could come from far offshore and shores and lands, digital income, borderless income, and international revenue. Also, you could have a bit of a spiritual breakthrough that leads you to a deeper insight into the nature of reality, including the nature of God. Again, anything is possible. December 2nd. As we move forward, there is a Mercury Cazimi on the 5th, nothing like a divine download from the house of friends, allies, benefactors, and a sibling one older than you, or from somebody in a social group setting. And you might get that phone call, text messages, or emails, or you might do something that day in the online setting world. This Cazimi is on the month of December at 5 and 5, December 5th. I find this is very beneficial to you and not me because it sextiles us. So some good news, feel good information. Again, Mercury these days is all about the phone calls, text messages, but it could be a profound conversation on December 5th. Pay attention. It's synchronistic, it's magical, and it's positive. And it could bring opportunities as well connected to fertility, pregnancy. And it could even mean that you discover that someone close to you is pregnant and having a child, or that your children are having children, or that you're having a child, because family god Jupiter retrograde is February 4th, he goes direct. But for pregnancy and fertility, I mean, it's sort of like he doesn't know he's pregnant, So find out what happens next, because I don't know, someone next to you could be with child. But Jupiter here is also good for your creative projects, and the Cazimi could have you download some really great opportunities or ideas for creative and artistic endeavors on December the 5th. And Pluto, Venus, and Mercury, Pluto, Venus, and Ceres all get together in your first house on December 6th, 7th. This is rare. This is beautiful. This flows to the nodes of fate. Kind of vibe of some real owning of real insight of self. How are you this powerful being, this Venusian? I think I just heard Adam Elibus say with his recent in a video, he said something like Venus is in outer space and Aquarius here, but it's kind of true in your spacesuit here. How are you absorbing an identity of self around December 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th that feels powerful, uncompromising, deep, and it connects to expanded opportunities in writing, communicating, social media as well with the North Node sextile, ending up looking like a feel-good transit. The only downside would be you might have a massive case of challenge December 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th with a significant marriage type partner, or a troll from hell from your past on online social media land, where you have to go to battle and you do not suffer those troll fools gladly, but your partner's retrograde. So there's probably separation. My partner from US is going back to the United States. So this is just that. He's going to separate from me because he's not legally allowed to stay in Canada for more than 6 months. So yes, I'm separated from my partner, but I could also have jealousy, fatal attractions. Like, you could too be going through some kind of deep excavation of how you operate so it's the power of love and the love of power. But what are you doing with that? Which way are you going? I don't be an autocrat. And also don't be a gnarly, person with your partner. Don't act like your business and love partners are your enemy. There's a tension there too on December 6th to the 10th. And with Mars retrograde and all the planets retrograde, really, there's, delays and setbacks in business relationships and legal contracts with Mars retrograde, with your relationship to a partner who may be separated from you during the retrograde. And that, Mars will go directly out of that house or move into the next house on January 6th. So expect those problems with others, or separation from a partner, maybe to be a big theme till January 6th. Maybe even later, maybe till February, because of Mars not even turning direct until February 23rd. I kind of think that you might want to watch out for a massive blowout with a business partner, a long-term committed love partner, because of the opposition mid-December between Venus co-present with Pluto opposite Mars retrograde in your 7th house. If you are going to also have a blow, it could be from hearing from a boyfriend or like long-term committed marriage type partnership person from the past, because that's a Mars retrograde in the sign of Leo. And that may bring those people out of the woodwork, and you may have some very confrontational moment middle of December. And I do not mind this square that much. People are, well, and then there's a lucky, don't forget, I'll be diving into it for my week ahead, but we don't mind that Venus and Jupiter are in a trine. This is an air trine. It's really positive for you because it's Jupiter in the 5th house of children, and it's trining Venus in the house of you. So good things to do with fertility, pregnancy, and children. You can get pregnant with this, or your partner. It could lead to destined, fated soulmate grandchildren coming into your life, new conceptions of grandchildren. Lucky you. When am I talking about? It's this like just 19th and 20th of December. It's also connected to a full moon that's going to happen in your 5th house, which is going to blow up and complete and fulfill and fruit babies, children, grandchildren, creative project, entrepreneurial business projects over the 6 months that follow the December 15th moon. And then there's that lucky trine from Jupiter. So it's almost like being pregnant. So you're pregnant with some possibility that a moon wants to amplify Aquarius, whether you're going to create a new business, a new creative project, a new art project, a new baby, a new grandchild's coming in, something like that. It's definitely a money luck house. Jupiter's there. He's retrograde. You're going to win some money, and you can. You've done this gig before. So, for example, if you've always bought the hospital lottery for your local lottery, I just bought another Christmas lottery ticket. Oh my God, it could mean that this could propel that one to a win or something like that. If you go back to August, how are you feeling about the following themes? Creativity, entrepreneurship, children, romance and sex, squaring as Jupiter in your 5th house, Saturn in the house of earnings, which indicates usually money and work. Now, August, that was in play. Saturn was retrograde then, and he was working hard at something to do with finances. Jupiter was direct, wanting to have an exuberant bounty in August of sex and fun and play and pleasure and positive things for your children and your entrepreneurial and creative business projects, et cetera, et cetera. And Saturn was a bit of a Debbie Downer because he was grinding and he was retrograde to deepen some kind of financial gain. I can just say that, my partner, I finally got back together after my Europe trip in July, and I was so burned out by the end of August. I took us on a mini vacation together with a hammock, and you guys saw pictures of that because I wasn't having any fun in my love life, because I was working so hard. So this tension is back. I gave me as an example, and this could be a tension between constriction and food style and pleasure. Maybe some of you had to sober up in August, but we're back again to the same energy the last 10 days of December. And you might just feel like, the last 10 days of December, it's grinding like it was like it was in the month of August. Now, I just use me as an example because I know what it's going to be. I've got clients 5-6 days a week in December. I never do that anymore, but people booked me a year ago before I closed my calendar down. And I'm going to be working really hard with clients, and I don't do that anymore. I got to see 2 clients a week now. And so I know I'm going to feel like a workaholic like I did in August. And August was different reasons, but it's going to have the same vibe. So ask yourself where you might find that even though you're moving forward with money, earnings, work, and resources, and you're married to your work and career up here, Juno, that you're also finding that Jupiter who's trying to deepen your pleasure and bounty and fun and joy, has another measure in mind. He wants you to have fun. He wants you to have fun with things that you've done in the past, like an old creative project you should go back and redo, or an entrepreneurial business idea you should reinvestigate, or some kind of fun with friends and people around you, playing games and going off and playing Pictionary. But Saturn's, again, we're working. But he's also very steady here, and he's very realistic. For me, as an example, I'm going to probably have to cancel some of those readings. I just don't have it in me. So there's going to be a kind of sober-minded realism about what you can accomplish in your finances connected to earnings, savings, and financial gain. And Jupiter is retrograde by February 4th, he goes direct. And now you're getting everything working. All systems go. The cogs and wheels are going there. Finally, there's a new moon in Capricorn at 9 degrees. We love it. There's no Pluto with this moon. Again, that's been a thing for, like, it's 2008. Now this is done. Capricorn for you is your 12th house. It's going to be foreign places, foreign shores, and distant lands, and it could indicate a new beginning there. Like, I want to get a digital nomad visa in Portugal or something like that. So it's a fresh start, new beginning in far off places and lands, new beginning in digital income, foreign revenue, borderless income, new fresh starts December 30th. Add 2 weeks and add 6 months with regards to your spiritual life, your inner life, to do with your alone time and your connection to the divine. And it's Saturn's giving us a seal of approval from the second house. So it does increase your financial gains in a new way, a new beginning, a fresh start if you make money overseas or internationally. But it also opened up doorways of new beginnings regarding constraining your food style, regarding habits of food or addictions. I'm on the AIP protocol, but that started with autoimmune protocol. That started when Mars was moving through the sixth house, but then he backtracked into, and then he moved forward into Leo. That was November 3rd, and my strict September, October diet fell apart, and my arthritis is back. So a lot of you will go with this new moon into like, I'm going to so quit that food style or that substance abuse style or whatever that holds me back. So it's a fresh start, December 30th, reboot moon, and it gives you a good full 6 months of success. All right, keep that in mind. Don't forget, the long version video doesn't miss a thing. These are just overviews. Go watch your 30-minute video, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. There's a 30-minute long form video for you. So go watch that video. In the meantime, here's what I've got for you in the overview of December 2024. It is, first of all, a month in which Jupiter, the Lord of your sign, is retrograde. Keep in mind, there's a lot of retrogradation, but when Jupiter's retrograde for a Pisces, you got to pay attention. Don't make any big decisions in December or even till February 4th regarding land, home, property, and real estate. It's not usually a good idea with a Jupiter retrograde to sell a house, buy a house, move a house, because you'll have to fix it. Something will have to be returned or change direction afterwards. So wait till February 4th for, if you can, the real estate stories, unless an old buyer from the past who you turned down is coming back to buy your place in December. Otherwise, be careful. And Mercury retrograde till mid-December. Maybe don't sign any contractual agreements around property sales either until then, or purchases. That aside, Jupiter is deepening his bounty and wants you to get truthful and wise within the context of your private home life. He wants you to look at what's good there, what's the goodness there, and look deeply at what is good and true and what is bounteous in your private and home life. When I look at this month of December, I could say that the Venus trine Algol story, Venus exalts you, by the way, is important. It could bring very powerful and positive developments in your life between your 3rd and 11th house. It could look like a very good financial blessing from a younger and or older sibling, both double-ending you, surprises in the life of a younger sibling, surprises with neighbors, neighborhood, but also social media success and financial gain. It's not a bad idea for some of you in the first few days of December to put out a shingle, sell a product online, do some social media work. It could really pay off. And you can get a few ka-chings there financially. And you might also notice that travel opportunities can emerge. But if you do travel, it has to do with group events or larger groups of people, or travel connected to siblings. They may come to visit you. You may go to visit them. This is the first week of December. It really is December 2nd, okay, where you could look for this little spark of luck and goodness shining through your sky. And I don't mind the Mercury Cazimi either on around the 5th of December. Mercury in the heart of the sun resets a button for you in the 10th house of career. Fresh start, new beginnings. hearing something and news, information, phone calls regarding work matters, colleagues, coworkers, former clients, maybe, and some news coming through that really stimulates a sense of divine justice or goodness happening on December 5th. Pay attention to that lucky day. Good for imagining new ideas for your career and creating new things you wish to market and sell if you're one of those types on December the 5th, launching it like a new product or website. As well, with Neptune stationing direct on December 7th, any kind of way you've been last 4 months beforehand, like revisioning, reseeing, redoing like your dreams and goals with a more realistic edge and not being diluted by what's possible. Now you can take some action on your more sober-minded goals and what you wanted to achieve in life, particularly, yeah, we'll stick with that. Particularly regarding anything to do with the online world, writing projects, communicating, marketing, and selling. If you're in that milieu, December 7th is a good time to move forward with new projects, new ideas. Venus joins with Pluto, and that's intensity, and it's in your 12th house. This is subtle soul work stuff. Honestly, for most of you, it's the house of hospitals, insane asylums, and jails. This is December 6th. It's powerful because Venus is a benefic and gives you blessings. However, it's also deep soul work. And if you have any Akashic records you want to uncover, any past lives, any family of origin mysteries that need to be uncovered, Pluto excavates and shows you what's really there, what's true, and what's not seen. And Venus is receiving the excavation energy. Venus does rule your house of secrets to do with the family of origin, the 8th house. That includes those sexual secrets as well. Hopefully that's not what you're uncovering, but it's a trine. So, and with Jupiter trining, it means it's all very good to uncover the hidden mysteries of your family of origin. And this powerful energy is available in a flow to the nodes of fate. This is around December 6th to the 10th. It can expand your wealth and prosperity, self-esteem and self-love and self-value as well. Certainly, Jupiter retrograde is about looking at your family of origin and the stories they had around prosperity, because he's going to the past and having you look again at what you think is true and real about prosperity. And because you're squaring the sun in the 10th house in most of this month, you're literally looking at things to do with your father figures and your lessons around bounty and prosperity from bosses to fathers and father figures that may have held you back. And some of you Pisces are unwinding that self-undoing financially. It looks like Chiron has been giving you a financial wound or a food style wound or a face wound ever since 2019. And I see a lot of turnaround around that wound with this deep, profound excavation flowing to the North Node where Chiron is. And so the way you approach food style, addictions, self-undoing, bad habits, money, stories from childhood that have held you back, so that you haven't been as prosperous as you could be. These are all trying to turn around. December 6th to the 10th, pay attention. You don't, use or lose it, really. It's a very rare time. Maybe some struggles with your health, but things will work out. December the 12th. Mars is retrograding your 6th house. You're redoing, revisiting, rethinking some health challenges that may have emerged when he started to retrograde December. Well, since he got into this house, he can injure you here. Unfortunately, my sister was injured. She's a Pisces rising. Mars got into your 6th house November 3rd or 4th, and it could have caused inflammation, heat, rashes, or injury. Now he's retrograding, trying to go back over the old ground, and then he'll be back here in April, May. But I want to just say this opposition to Venus around the 12th of the month is going to pitch you against some situation, not really a person. It can be very much about breaking karmic shackles of self-undoing that holds you back, not really an outer world story at all. The square that happened last August was intense. We had an ongoing August square to Saturn from Jupiter. It's back again the last 10 days of the month. And Jupiter is like, I want you to be bounteous, prosperous, and wealthy in and from your home. I want you to build wealth in and from your home. I want you to be wealthy because of land, property, home, and real estate, including inheritances and money from your spouse, even. and the money you share. Anyway, so there's this idea that Jupiter wants to bounty you up. He gets direct February 4th and through to June 9th does give you a lot more positive momentum. But you felt his presence here in August, and he was squaring Saturn. You were the one who had realism, and you were retrograde. So you were going inward in August. Well, you figured out what kind of serious, sober-minded, and realistic approach to land, home, property, and real estate you should take. Example, my Pisces sister and her guy got a final offer after waiting forever on their home, like finally got someone to offer to buy their home. And my sister was realistic enough to take the offer because it wasn't what they wanted. And so you were realistic about things to do with home, property, and real estate, and you were willing to dig in deep to go with what worked for you. You're back in that theme, but now you're in direct motion with Saturn. So you're more fortified. You're ready to hit new ground running. And yet there's something about the property, home, and real estate that's going backwards. You're reset. Jupiter's reassessing the ground he travels since July 15th in his retrogradation here. And he doesn't go direct till February. So you're back into some kind of sober-minded, serious consideration to do with your private life, domestic life, home life, and literally the land and property on which you are living. Jupiter is in the house of home and homeland. He's retrograde. Sometimes that means going back to the homeland. So if you don't live in the homeland of your homeland or the hometown, you may go back toward it or be considering that in the last 10 days of December. So that's what I've got for you. I hope that's useful. Oh, the last thing is a Capricorn moon having a reset button. Don't forget, this is without Pluto. So that's why it's so fresh and beautiful. New beginnings, fresh starts in your 11th house of good spirit, where good things, including windfalls, happen. New beginnings in your relationship to your career gains, an elder sibling, one above you. New beginnings in a relationship to matters connected to your dreams, wishes, and hopes for your life. And because it's sextiled by Saturn in the house of you and Saturn agree. You have realistic goals and dreams and realistic new ways of gaining career, money, and earnings and successes, and new realistic ways of connecting to allies, benefactors, and a sibling one older. It can really strengthen a new beginning and a new solidity in a relationship with your sibling one older than you. And even to some extent, perhaps a sibling two older than you, because where Juno is sitting. Let's advance the chart for fun, just because I want to see how far does Juno get, because she's like making a contractual agreement. Did I go back a month? Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. So but roughly like, oh, there she is. No, and I got to get you back in line. Sorry, guys. See what I mean? Why I can't advance the chart? Yeah. So Juno's at 18 degrees. The moon is at 9 degrees. New moon, new beginning, strategic as well. And yeah, okay. So we get like a loosey-goosey mini trine between a sibling two older, a sibling one older, and opportunities, agreements, contracts, vows. So connected to career gains and good spirit, a good house, good things want to happen. You're going to feel rewards here. It could even open up an opportunity for a new learning path, going to school, studying, but you're going to have to have contractuals around that. So you're talking about applying for a school. We're talking about 6 months after, right? So it's a new moon on December 30th. You'll see some evidence of the themes here in the 2 weeks that follow, but it can unfold over the course of 6 months. All right. All right, guys. It is like a day and a half. I'm recording this video on the 28th. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I will see you in the future. I'll see you on a Thursday video, which is probably about the Mars retrograde. I'm excited for that one. It's a really important retrograde. We saw a retrograde just like this in fall of 77 into spring of 78. We're reliving that time in our history collectively and individually, but there are many different features from that time. So we'll be diving into the world stories, the mundane astrology for that on Thursday, as well as your sign. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Love you guys. Thanks for helping this channel thrive.